get in on the conversation. We're with you for the next 3 hours here as we are here to take you through the rest of this Monday night, coming off of the Cowboys Hour with the voice of America's team, Brad Sham, Nicole Hutchison, and superstar kicker Brandon Aubrey.
Superstar, okay.
I mean, when you don't miss a single kick and you're just the best kicker, it feels like, on the planet, and you're the reigning NFC's special teams player of the month.
You got there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that makes you a superstar in this league. So why not?
Nah, I don't know about that. Texting, truckwreck.com text line. As you know, we love talking to you on the text line in all these various ways. YouTube, Twitch, all those things are available to you.
That's right.
But text in, how many superstar kickers do you believe there are in the league? Okay,
truly superstar kickers in the league? 1.
That's right.
That would be Justin Tucker.
That's correct.
Shout out to Texas.
That is correct.
But, I mean, Brandon Aubrey's on his way to superstar status. He's on his way. No?
You want me to tell you what my just created metric for superstar kicker is? If you can go anywhere in the city and be good in that hood. Because I remember I saw early in this football season, Justin Tucker was around Baltimore, just walking around, and they was taking pictures.
Oh yeah,
they was handing him stuff. I think he might have kissed a baby.
Of course he did.
So let Brandon Aubrey just walk around all these. Let's go to Dallas. Let's go to Fort Worth. Let's go all the way. If he can go anywhere and he's good in that hood, then we're talking about some superstardom.
Let me tell you something. If Brandon Aubrey made a kick to win the Super Bowl, he would not have to ever buy himself a damn thing in his life ever again. He would be a folk hero here in the state of Texas.
Okay. Look, it's possible. It's possible. I hear you, especially to win a Super Bowl with
he won a Super Bowl
with these Cowboys and the way it's been going.
Yeah.
I feel you on that, but you got to set them up for that. And right now, the way that the Dallas Philly game, they ain't even give themselves an opportunity to set them up for some fun stuff.
Yeah. What was?
If you get your 2-point conversion, you set them up for an opportunity to do something fun at the end of the game. All right.
Right.
Am I lying though?
No.
Not
a single lie told. Cowboys fall, unfortunately, 28-23 to Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles now 8-1 on the season. They're into their bye week now as they get ready to take on the Kansas City Chiefs when they come off. Both teams on their bye week this upcoming week. They'll be on Monday Night Football in what will be one hell of a showdown in a couple weeks. Cowboys fall to 5-3, 2-3 on the road, despite the fact that Dak Prescott played a hell of a football game. CeeDee Lamb balling. Tyron Smith coming out the next singer looked really, really good. There's a lot of things positive about what happened in this game, but you came up just a few plays short, which leads us to our first question and conversation of the night. Did yesterday's game leave you more disappointed or more hopeful about the Cowboys after losing to Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles?
I was really interested in this, after this game. Also because I don't think I tapped in well enough to like the social media space to see how the layman, the Cowboys nation, the average person in this space felt after that loss. And I know for me personally, and maybe this is just, I don't know, hope springing eternal. I was kind of hopeful after this game, and maybe it's because I already had a little bit of a negative bent. But look, man, the only good team that the Cowboys really went up against, they got pantsed, right? They ain't just get beat; they got embarrassed.
Yeah,
right. And so this Philadelphia Eagles team is supposed to be in that class, right? With the Cowboys, what we are seeing is a team that is obviously good, but only really showed that level of dominance against bad teams, right? And so it was starting to look like, is this a team that is only going to show that level of play against bad teams? And if that's what we're talking about, then ain't no way we're getting to the places that Cowboys fans expect them to be, which is contending deep into the postseason in the NFC. And so this was a measuring stick game. You could call it a litmus test, but Dak Prescott might find that a little bit odd for you to use that verbiage.
You have no idea what that is.
That's right. And they kind of answered the call in some ways. There was definitely more to be desired when it came to the Dallas Dallas Cowboys. Watching basketball while also doing football. This Dallas Cowboys team, but they played fairly well against this Eagles team. They did not allow themselves to just get bullied in this game. And the offense moved. Now, it required a lot of Dak Prescott putting that on his shoulders.
That's right.
But the idea that Dak Prescott was out there putting it on his shoulders, doing it out of structure, and in some ways just saying, if I need to do this way, I will do it this way, was encouraging for me.
Mike McCarthy, are there any moral victories after being so close against Philadelphia yesterday?
I'll say this. I felt last week we kind of turned the corner. You know, I'm a huge believer in you get what you put into it, you know, whether it's life or in a game of football. And I thought our team really hit their stride going into last week's game, played well, did it again this week, came in here expected to play well and win. So as long as we stay after that, you know, there's an ebb and flow in every game, but there's a vibe that gets created when you get into routine and you start building that momentum and so forth. And that's why a win tonight would have been excellent because you know, you get a nice chunk of confidence come out of these wins. But we know who we are. I mean, there's no excuses. You know, we need to make one more play tonight, and we didn't do that.
Did you view it as one more play? Like this was just a one more play type game? Is that
There was at least a few, but I get the point of what he's trying to make. And for me, it leaves me honestly more disappointed.
Okay.
And the reason being is this is yet another game that you had an opportunity against one of the upper echelon teams in the NFL, especially on the road, to be able to make a statement with a win and, more importantly, keep yourself within striking distance in this division. Now, you say, Kevin, the Cowboys are now 2.5 games effectively behind the Eagles, and obviously having lost the first game, the schedule that the Philadelphia Eagles have versus what the Cowboys have over the next 3 weeks would give you an idea that maybe these two teams, when they meet each other again down the road, that things will be fairly tight at the top of that division. But for me, you made enough plays, it felt like, as the course of the game went on, to put yourself in position to win, and you simply couldn't close the deal. I could not figure out for the life of me, while you had 1st and 5 on the Philadelphia Eagles 6-yard line with 27 seconds to go, and you find a way to not get a damn thing. Not a score, nothing, and you lose that football game. After all the gifts that the Philadelphia Eagles gave you to get you into that position and the mental mistakes where there was a false start, obviously the sack that was given up by Terrence Steele, who got repeatedly whooped yesterday.
Yeah, they took his lunch money
completely throughout the course of that game. That left a real bad taste in my mouth about the execution, the poor time management and offensive execution when you had to have it most in that game. And it really shouldn't have come down to that particular moment anyway. We know about a couple of plays with Schoonmaker and Dak Prescott stepping out of bounds in the 2-point conversion that really kind of turned some of these things around. But for me, ultimately, it left me disappointed just because of where you are and what a win would have done for you going into the stretch of games where you possibly could go 3-0 against the likes of the Giants and others as you get ready for these games.
I do find it interesting. And look, I'm not trying to, put down anyone's opinion. I do value a lot of your opinions fairly highly, but I find it interesting the folks that are going, the regular season doesn't matter and the postseason is what matters, and that game proved that you can't play with the teams that will be in the postseason, because I view that actually in the complete opposite way. Mm-hmm. The fact that you did not finish the game obviously leaves a bad taste, and rightfully so, but if you watched that football game and thought that this Dallas team can't play with the likes of these teams, I don't know what you were watching. This is a team that was playing with this Philadelphia Eagles team, and look, you get a few things that bounce your way and you win that football game.
Yeah,
now, of course,
sure.
You can't depend on those things, and what you would hope is that you were going and taking it, right? As we liken it to the Texas Rangers, right? Mm-hmm. You would hope that you were going and taking it, and so that's a different level. But no, look, after that Niners game, I was starting to look at this team as, can they play with teams on this level? This is confirmation of that. And look, I understand that sounds like loser talk or whatever, but I think that that's the fact of the matter is that, okay, I needed to get some level of proof that they could play on this level, and they can. Now, is game management late in games still going to be an issue? Execution, still an issue. Penalties, funny enough, still an issue, right? These are all things that still need to be adjusted. Hey, how about importing a run game of some sort? That'd be nice. Boy. Still an issue. But with all of those issues, you were, like you said, 27 seconds and 7 yards away from winning this football game. And I think that that is some level of proof of concept. I'm not saying you have to be happy about that, but I think that they are a lot closer in caliber to the Philadelphia Eagles, who seem to be some level of the cream of the crop when it comes to the NFC. And so, look, I understand People, that's not going to mean anything to anybody. But where we started with this from week 5, I think that is an upgrade that makes me feel some level of hopeful with them still having time to somewhere to address this. Do I believe that they will appropriately address that? That's a different conversation, right?
Yeah.
And that goes into how much do you believe in the coaching ability? How much do you believe in the players actually executing what's necessary over the final stretches of this season? Those are all different questions, but like I have a genuine level of hopefulness that at least they could play on the level that they're supposed to be able to play right now.
Yeah, and I guess for me, looking at the Cowboys against this particular version of the Philadelphia Eagles, while yes, they came into the game yesterday with the best record in the NFL, this did not feel like the same Philadelphia Eagle team last year, where honestly, you were in both of those games and you won one of those games last year. You were in the game on the road with Cooper Rush a year ago when this Eagles team theoretically was better last year. So
sure.
I guess I didn't necessarily need the Cowboys to prove against Philadelphia that they were a team that they could compete with because we've seen them be able to do it in divisional games like this before.
Fair enough.
My point being, this was a game and an opportunity with all the things that you did well with Dak Prescott cooking, CeeDee Lamb being able to put together another game the way that he did. Defensively, you were okay. You kept your team in this game for the most part, holding down A.J. Brown, holding down Devontae Smith, in certain aspects. This was a game that you felt like there was a moment, talk about going and taking it. You had a chance to take it in the end and be able to cap off what I thought was a very well-played football game on both sides based off of the way that the game was flowing. The referees be damned because that was horrendous officiating on both sides, to be honest. But again, I want the Cowboys in these moments to overcome them and start giving confidence to fans that they can't just be in these games, but actually win them, because what are we going to say when they play Buffalo, when they play Miami?
Buffalo, I'm actually not very high on anymore.
Well,
but also Miami, if you want to talk about teams that only beat bad teams.
Exactly. But these are teams that we consider good football teams and games that we will look at and say, can you beat certain teams of a certain caliber? And you have not been able to do it against San Francisco and now against Philadelphia. When will the corner be turned when you actually win one of these games versus figuring out things that you did well to hopefully build toward that moment? I'm ready for that moment to happen for this team versus it not happening again yesterday.
Yeah, I do find it interesting though that like you get 2 inches of your tight end being placed in a different place.
Oh man!
And I think that people view this game entirely different, and that's the cognitive dissonance that I'm feeling in this moment. It's just like you get Dak Prescott stepping 3 inches inside of of where he does, and I think people feel significantly different about this game, and that's the thing that's weird to me.
Yeah.
Is that you got this level of play, and it really is just these small things that change the way that we view this. However, like I understand that it is a game of inches, as it felt like everybody in the post game was saying, entirely unironically. How do you feel about this from the 469 who says the bright spot is pressure won't be coming from Dak's blind side? And then pressure to his right won't affect him long term. It's the unknown at left tackle that would make him force things. How do you feel about that, knowing that Tyron Smith played a good game, even if we don't want to talk too much about Terrence Steele getting his lunch money taken by Hassan Reddick over time and time again?
Yeah, I thought Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith were excellent on the left side yesterday. I thought they were your 2 best offensive linemen against the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. And the questions being on the right side with Terrence Steele particularly. Now, here's the part that makes me upset about Steele. We have known that pass protection not necessarily great, but we've known him to be a really good run blocker. That necessarily hasn't been there this year either.
And that was what made the trade-off worth it, is that you knew that he's going to go kick somebody's keister in the run game.
And that hasn't happened. You say, Kevin, well, he's coming off the torn ACL. He's still working back there. Still time for him to start figuring those things out. Hey, man, we're about to be 10 weeks into the NFL season. Something has got to start flipping up for this run game, because it was non-existent when you needed it inside the 6-yard line.
Even when you didn't need it.
It
was just non-existent.
It's just non-existent. So there are things coming out of this game that, yes, the Cowboys did extremely well against the Philadelphia Eagles that can give you some confidence down the road that they can eventually overcome those moments and make enough plays to win games. I just need that to happen
already.
Right. We're too deep into this for this still to be a question about can they win in big moments. So that'll be something that as the week goes on that we'll discuss here, we'll look at, because, we won't necessarily get those answers this upcoming week because they're going to beat the Giants into submission this upcoming weekend. So we'll figure that out.
I was going to ask why specifically you say that, but it's because it's the Giants. I get it.
Exactly. It's the Get Right with Reggie KG right here on 105 through the Fan from the 469. Cognitive dissonance. Reggie out here with them big words. Well,
I'm sorry.
What you apologizing for?
I'm trying to make sure that I'm somewhat accessible to the folks. Let them know that people know what I'm talking about. And I hope that you knew what I was talking about. And if you didn't, I'll try and do better next time.
You got a Buc-ee's hat on. You're accessible.
Is that what it takes?
I mean, you're a man of the people.
Just put on a Buc-ee's hat and you're...
I mean, it's a very nice hat, too.
Thank
This
you.
is an incredible looking hat.
Appreciate that.
Not everybody can pull that hat off. Right there, right, Chris? Look at him as he has a hat on. Coming up next here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on your home of the Cowboys and World Series champion, Texas Rangers. MLB free agency is underway. The question is, should the Rangers go about building their roster and rotation this way? Next on the Get Right.
Blasting out 100,000 watts of FM sports talk power and streaming 24/7 on the Odyssey app. This is DFW Sports Station 105.3 The Fan.
Get big savings and big rewards during Pro-Vember at Lowe's.
It is a 9-point lead right now for the Dallas Mavericks as they lead 108-99 pending a Cole Anthony free throw as the Mavericks are trying to get it done in Orlando with 2:34 left in the fourth quarter. Dallas up 108-99 with about 2.5 minutes left there. But MLB free agency is officially underway. The Texas Rangers making some moves as far as their free agency plans begin. The GM meetings beginning today as Chris Young gets back to work for your World Series champion Texas Rangers after celebrating the first ever World Series title in franchise history with a massive parade on Friday that had nearly 750,000 people attending said parade. And now the business turns to getting this team ready for 2024. A initial piece of business, Mitch Garver was not provided a qualifying offer by the Texas Rangers, which would have been in the $20 million or so range as the Rangers begin their offseason moves. Mitch Garver was not provided a qualifying offer, so he enters free agency.
But we did get options on Andrew Heaney and Jose Leclerc, who will both return to your Texas Rangers. So those arms are available to you. But the dude who played a lot of DH, a little bit of catcher for you, and obviously was huge when it came to the postseason, Mitch Garver, looking like he probably won't return, which, I mean, we've been talking about. It kind of makes sense. He, in theory, made himself a lot of money. And this is probably his opportunity, last opportunity to get a big contract before, that career kind of winds down for him. And I feel like with these Texas Rangers, you probably have some opportunities to swing a little higher when it comes to somebody who's going to play primarily DH for you. And then maybe have an opportunity to integrate some other things at catcher, whether it's seeing if Sam Huff can come up and grab that secondary catching role if Austin Hedges remains, or if it's something else for you. So, I mean, obviously you have to salute Mitch Garver because he's offered you a lot of benefit with that bat and also with his glove over this season.
And he will be missed, to the 214's point. The grand slam that he hit in Game 2 of the division series against the Baltimore Orioles will be one of the seminal moments of these past playoffs for the Texas Rangers. It'll be interesting to see how he goes about free agency and where he eventually lands going into 2024. When you start looking, though, at MLB free agency and what it means for the Rangers, we're going to hear a lot of big names linked to this team, including including the biggest prize of all in Shohei Ohtani, where we've heard various reports that the Rangers are the front runner, to potentially land Shohei, which
at the very least, they are one of the teams involved in the bidding for him.
But the question is, as you look at how this team struggled in the bullpen throughout the course of the year, which eventually became a massive strength for them in the postseason, how does this team now go about fortifying their rotation and bullpen while still continuing to remain at the top with one of the best lineups in all of baseball? And what does free agency begin to do in some of those cases?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be necessary to address the bullpen, but I think you were talking about, we were listening to the G-Bag Nation earlier, and they started having some of this conversation. And being aggressive when it comes to the starters, like some of what Chris Young did at the trade deadline, might need to be a continued approach where you make sure that your starters are some level of strong to help your bullpen out. Obviously, your bullpen is going to need to be addressed. You can't go through another season having the likes of 3 or 4, pitchers out of the pen that you can depend on. That is not viable for a season this robust, having 162 games plus, as you're probably going to be expecting to be in the postseason again. But I think that it's going to be important to make sure that you have a very strong rotation, because that's That's a majority of your innings there. And if you have that at a robust rate, one thing that we also know, bullpens year to year isn't something that is necessarily something that you can predict. And then also at the trade deadline, if you are a buyer, bullpen arms are one of the most accessible options that you can add there. So I think that those are things that you want to look at in this winter, but you also can address over time. Starters is something that you need to address in this winter.
Yeah, you start thinking about the rotation for this team going into 2024. Yes, Max Scherzer is going to be back as a part of this team, but we know the injuries can be a concern for him, especially at this stage of his career.
And he figured some things out with that slider once he got here from the Mets. But
shout out to Mike Maddox.
I mean, he's advanced in age, and if that slider does not come back, it does. We see the ways that it affects his ability to be effective on the mound.
Yeah, and you're hoping that you retain Jordan Montgomery, who has earned himself a massive payday for him after the postseason that he had in the second half that he had coming to the Texas Rangers, during the trade deadline. And if you're a believer in the idea that the rotation, as strong as it can be to help alleviate the use of your bullpen, which in a lot of ways, I think as the Rangers went on, as the season went into the postseason, your guys at the top with Nathan Eovaldi and Jordan Montgomery able to shorten games for your bullpen by going deep into games, going 5, 6, 7 innings to really help save your bullpen. Maybe that's some of the strategy that Chris Young looks to take into this offseason as well. When you look at a guy like Aaron Nola, star, of course, for the Philadelphia Phillies at 30 years of age, one of the best pitching free agents on the market this offseason. Could that be a route for the Rangers to say, hey, look, let's take another swing at a big-time free agent pitcher that can come in and be able to work deep into the games? That way that saves us, our bullpen a little bit going forward into 2024 as well.
And it's worth noting when it comes to this free agency period, of the free agents, you've got relatively deep class of starting pitchers in that. When you talk about Aaron Nola, you mentioned Jordan Montgomery, Sonny Gray, Blake Snell are all available notable names.
Both Cy Young Award finalists this year too.
Right. So there are some arms out there available for the getting. It's not just this theoretical thing. There are some folks out there. So I think being aggressive and getting, obviously, if you could bring back Jordan Montgomery and maybe get another arm, I think that could be incredibly helpful in one, making sure that you have a really solid starting rotation. But then also one of the things that it does is, which we saw in the postseason, is allows you to push some of those starters that would be into the pen, and those guys can be the likes of maybe an Andrew Heaney or a Dane Dunning that were fantastic for you. And if they needed to be starters, they can be solid 4th, 5th starters, but maybe even more so, they could be really good arms for you out of the pen. And in that way, you kind of bolster your bullpen as well.
And you're looking at this rotation going into next year, and we saw John Gray, who did a phenomenal job this postseason, making the transition from starter to reliever. I would think he goes back into your starting rotation there. So you're looking at the likes of Scherzer, Jordan Montgomery, Nathan Eovaldi, John Gray as your 4 starters, as part of that rotation. And then what you do with the mixing and matching of Heaney, or if you add another arm in this offseason, you've got a pretty good 4 or 5 guys at the top of in your rotation that you can feel good about to be able to put together ball games throughout the course of a season. And if you're still obviously with Aroldis Chapman, Jose Leclerc, who we know is coming back next year as well, and Josh Sborz, does he eventually become your closer? You have a setup situation with Leclerc and Josh Sborz being able to be your 8th and 9th inning guys, and you say, see you later, to Aroldis Chapman in that way, maybe?
Well, I mean, the less that you have to rely on Aroldis Chapman individually, and I guess I probably shouldn't put it in that framework. It's just you want to have more arms available. One thing about Bruce Bochy is that he's shown that he's masterful with a bullpen, and I'm not just talking about this last year. Obviously, over the course of his career as a manager, he has been masterful dealing with the bullpen. And when you have an artist of that sort, give them a lot of brushes, give them a lot of tools, and then you give them more opportunities to give you a masterpiece. And I think that's one thing that the Rangers are hoping to and should be hoping to do and focus on doing, because the lineup is really good, and you still have the likes of Wyatt Langford coming up, and again, Shohei Ohtani. So look, you were a lot closer to that being a completely fully formed project for you. As this was one of the best lineups, definitely the best lineup in the postseason.
Best lineup in the American League all season statistically.
So you absolutely, I think that focusing on your pitching to have more complete baseball, if I could borrow a term, I think is going to be the objective, at least if I was the GM, which, you know what, you should be happy about that I'm not, because Chris Young seems to be really good at this.
And that's the fun part about having won the World Series now, is the aggressiveness at which you can go about this offseason to fill in the needs that you have, but more importantly, the desire for players to want to come to your organization because, hey, you're the latest team to have won the World Series and you bolster one of the best lineups, if not the best lineup in the American League and maybe in all of baseball
which offers a level of support for any pitchers that I imagine is attractive. But yes, Jacob deGrom should be back midseason.
Hopefully, yeah.
But I think this is a team that has shown a level of aggression that makes me think they are not necessarily simply hoping on that. But no, that is fair. Like, you obviously want to be smart with your resources, but one thing it seems like Ray Davis has gotten to the point of is what, KG?
Spend that money, Ray.
And I feel like having a level of certainty might win out in that regard.
Could you imagine if he drops $1 billion between Marcus Semien, Corey Seager?
I mean, hasn't he kind of already? Oh, no, he had the half billy.
Yeah.
And then you talking about adding Shohei for another half billy?
Another half bill?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not my money.
It sure ain't. Not mine either.
If it was, the check would bounce like Spalding, brother. Like Spalding.
It's the from the 2-1 from no thanks. Rangers already have enough people with big paychecks who can't stay healthy. Oh, okay. Maybe not. It's the Get Right with Reggie KG right here on 105 through the Fan. Coming in next, we go around the National Football League where this quarterback is done for the season and the Cowboys are going to work out this wide receiver next on the Get Right.
Coming up on the next KNC Masterpiece, the storylines that will dominate the MLB offseason. Plus, people are upset about the Cowboys. But have their prospects this season really changed that much? Join the show 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Imagine moving into your new home before selling your old home. For top dollar, you can with Orchard. Here's one couple's story. Moving to Texas for work, they needed to sell their old home first, move, rent an apartment, then move into their new home. Total nightmare. But with Orchard's Move First program, they could sell their old home after moving into their new home. Buy your next home before you sell. Get a free no obligation cash offer from Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Hot showers on demand? Yes, please. Call Bacon today to upgrade to a tankless water heater and save $150 on your replacement. Say goodbye to cold showers. Endless hot water starts with Bacon.
Everyone loves bacon.
Sean and RJ's Firehouse Tour brought to you by Texas State Brazil will be in the Colony on November 10th. Swing by Firehouse number 4 at 3400 Plano Parkway in the Colony from 5:30 to 10 a.m. to get some tender steak and bacon wrapped chicken. Come early while food lasts. That's Firehouse number 4 at 3400 Plano Parkway in the Colony from 5:30 to 10 a.m.
Bosch tools are built for workers. Bosch's powerful hammer drill has kickback control to help work go more smoothly when you need it. The 2-in-1 impact driver and wrench quickly changes between bits and sockets, so you only need one tool instead of two. And the X-Lock grinder switches wheels up to 5 times faster than standard grinders when you need to change tasks in a hurry. Bosch tools take care of the job.
like a good deal for them. And it apparently was an ACL injury done for the season. And I believe, let me make sure that I get these right, because I was about to say it and I was like, I actually don't recall that seeing that specifically. He will end the season with 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And remember that he just this offseason inked a 4-year, $160 million deal. Those 2 things aren't necessarily related, but, just all the details.
I don't want y'all ever to say to me ever again that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Don't y'all ever say that again. Ever in your life.
Oh, you want to get righteously indignant so we don't bring up the point that you said that Brian Daboll was fixing him?
He fixed him for a year.
That's not how fixing works, KG.
Well, it got him to the playoffs and won as many playoff games as the Cowboys did.
Not how fixing works, KG.
Look, Brian Daboll can't throw the ball for him. Anyway.
But y'all was talking like he could. What you mean? How you gonna take that stance after you're like, he's fixing them? I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you.
By the way, it was the right knee that he tore the ACL in, as Brian Daboll saying, quote, all I know is that he has a torn ACL right now. Obviously, surgery will ensue, but I don't know when that will be, end quote. Shout out to, come on down, Tommy DeVito. You're the star of the quarterback now room of the New York Football Giants. Any relation to Danny? Do we know that?
No, I have no.
Any relation to Danny DeVito?
No idea.
Okay.
All I have is a little word of advice for that young man. Always, and I do mean always, keep your head on a swivel for number 11, because it's going to be a problem if you don't. It's going to be real problems if you don't. Real life issues.
Welcome to the NFL, where you get to see arguably the most terrifying defender, who literally dresses like a lion sometimes, in Micah Parsons. Do you know who his backup is?
The backup for Tommy DeVito?
Yeah.
I guess that would be the emergency kicker, right? Or emergency quarterback. Did they, not emergency kicker, the emergency quarterback, did they add another quarterback to the roster?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I have no idea who they ended up getting.
Are you familiar with the name Matt Barkley?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Really?
He's been there before.
He's definitely been there before, but working? No.
I mean, look.
I don't know if that'll work.
The starting quarterback didn't work there. What you mean? So, like, work as much as they will have a quarterback that you will look like a quarterback. Although, look, I think the emergency situation, if Tommy DeVito had also gone the way of injury, would have been to, like, Saquon Barkley in the Wildcat, which, hey, y'all should probably consider that a little bit more seriously. Right? Like, get the ball to your best player right off the jump.
Do you know how down bad you got to be like, hey, Saquon, hey, can you get out here and run this Wildcat for us real quick? Come on, man. Speaking of down bad, are the Cowboys really down bad at receiver this badly to work out Martavis Bryant?
What, so they can not throw him the football? I saw the name Martavis Bryant. I was like, where have I seen that before? Last played in the league in 2018. I was like, oh, okay, that's when.
First of all, shout out to Diana Rossini, who found the most random nugget ever. The fact that the Cowboys are going to work out Martavis Bryant.
Real reporting hours.
No, must be.
Capital J journalism.
Because who the hell was looking for that one?
No idea whatsoever. You know what had to happen? She got an email. She got a text message from an agent like, hey, just letting you know this is happening. And for good measure, the Cowboys are working them out. So, there's some interest in it. Because
they must be doing him a solid, right? There's no real consideration to actually
sign
him, right?
I have no idea why they do this. None whatsoever. Like, okay, let's play a little bit of imagination theater here. Let's say it's Martavis Bryant getting a workout with the Los Angeles Rams. Does anybody care?
No.
Okay, fantastic.
No. But yeah, this is going to happen apparently.
I honestly didn't realize obviously I didn't know he wasn't in the league because I wasn't seeing him, but he got suspended not once, not twice, but thrice.
Yeah, archaic marijuana, policy,
this is off of the weed?
Yeah, it's off the weed.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
free my mans then.
He hasn't played since 2018. That's the thing. He hasn't played since 2018.
And that's crazy because, like, are we doing the thing where it's like 2010 was 10 years ago? No. Like, he hasn't played in 4 or 5 seasons in the
NFL. Because good point from the 1-7.
He did play in the XFL last season.
He did play in the XFL last year.
Which is not the NFL.
No. Good observation.
That's wild. He's 31?
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. But Stephen Jones today on KNC saying that, quote, he's a guy that's a big, strong, fast receiver that will certainly take a look at, end quote.
Is this just like put him on the practice squad just to have him there?
Again, for who? For what? I don't know why I'm getting this charged up about a receiver. Maybe because I'm
because you're mad.
Actually, you know what?
Okay, you got ISO.
I figured it out on the fly. I figured it out because this would be the organization who didn't do a damn thing at the trade deadline. It was like, hey, let's make some news that we're actually doing something around here and bring in a dude who literally hasn't played an NFL game since 2018.
That's like salt in the wound at this point.
Yeah, it's like,
don't do anything at the trade deadline. Bring in this nobody. 2018.
Now, hold on. We're not going to call him a nobody because everybody's
sorry,
somebody in God's eyes, okay?
Wow, he went preacher man on you.
But at the same time.
That's not even preacher man. That's your auntie.
You know,
that goes to every church service.
Look, everybody is somebody in the eyes of God, okay?
He said, bless his heart is what he said. That was so disrespectful.
Bless your heart, Martavis. That is something grandma would say. Bless your heart, baby. Bless your heart. But I don't get it, man. But this would be the team to give him a workout. I don't know. As we continue around the NFL here on the Get Right.
Yes.
So Atlanta's going to continue with Taylor Heineke as their starter there?
Yeah, a couple of interesting starts that we've gotten, interesting information. The Jonathan Gannon, who is the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, made it clear that Kyler Murray will start for the Arizona Cardinals against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yay.
So I guess that's remedied. Or
nice.
Maybe they just decided the Clayton Tune experiment was not worth it. And the one that is interesting, yes, is the Atlanta Falcons, who, again, will be playing the Arizona Cardinals this next week, decided that they're going to stick with Taylor Heineke, continuing Arthur Smith's run of what are you doing? Moves. I almost cussed there. I was close.
Good job.
Because we still haven't seen Bijan Robinson do hardly anything in the last few weeks. Drake London was injured, but they don't like throwing the ball to Drake London or
Kyle Pitts.
I'm like, you know who probably hates Arthur Smith? Their general manager. Like, what am I getting these players for? Why am I getting these players for if you're not going to use them?
What's my man's name? Terry Fontenot. He's the GM.
That was the last name that I remembered. Is he still the guy?
Okay, you know what? Because
it is Terry Fontenot.
Okay, because again, everybody is somebody in the eyes of God. But at the same time, Arthur Smith looks like the dude who should be your substitute accountant who got fired on Tuesday.
Substitute accountant?
Like, he doesn't look like he needs to belong anywhere near your money or anything that comes to making decisions about anything.
You got substitute accountant?
You get the point here.
You can't just wait for your accountant to come back?
No.
Off a day off?
No, because you got to hire somebody to do your taxes. Somebody.
Where'd your accountant go?
He got fired, I guess. I don't know. He's a substitute.
Isn't that more concerning that your accountant got fired?
Exactly. That you had to turn to that guy.
No, I'm saying, what is your first accountant doing that they got fired? Is it Ponzi scheme? Did they Madoff?
DJ Envy would know something about that.
All right, okay.
But yeah, I don't know why he still has that job. That's right. That's who he is. Good call, 214. He's Paul Blart. He will forever be now known as Paul Blart, the mall football coach. Got it. Paul Blart.
I just don't know why he doesn't like good football players.
He doesn't look like he could coach. Does he not look like does he look like an NFL coach to you?
Oh, so now we just doing judgments off of people's faces?
Yeah, he doesn't give face of a football coach. He gets face of a mall cop.
We're being disrespectful this segment.
That's very judgmental of you. I thought
in the eyes of God.
KG.
First of all, here's the other thing too. My man hustling backwards. He must really wanted to work to be an NFL head coach. Because do you know who his daddy is?
Is the dude who founded FedEx, or
the man who created FedEx?
Yeah, something like that. Hey man, look.
He wanted to just make his own name, I guess, huh?
They got to do something to pass the time.
Because let me tell you something. I've been trust fund, baby. Hey, daddy, yeah. I'm not working for real. Are you kidding me? My dad found FedEx. And you want to work 18 hours a day as a maniacal head coach in the NFL. Come on, man. No, from the 972, Paul Blart is already taken. That's the Raiders quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. Does he really look like Paul Blart?
I honestly don't know what
I thought he looked like Derek Carr, to be honest with you. They did side by side of Derek Carr and Aiden O'Connell. I thought it was the same person. I was like, what happened here? They're starting Derek Carr again?
Are we doing a thing where everybody who has a mustache is a mall cop? Is that what y'all are doing here?
Well, no. Arthur Smith looks particularly like Paul Blart.
Because you can just say cop. Like, why are you saying mall cop? It feels like that's the law enforcement look. Is that mustache? Is it not?
I mean,
especially if you get the handlebars, then you go.
Oh, the handlebars.
Mm-hmm.
You're a handlebar mustache guy. Was you?
Am I a hand?
Would you be?
Stop asking stupid questions.
I was going to say, Reg, don't rope me into this.
I'm about to say, Chris. You are. Well,
All right, let's take this break at this point. Now we're just doing mustache judgments. That's how we go around the NFL.
Speaking of judgment, this Mavs defense is horrendous, but they were actually okay tonight in the second half. We'll tell you how next.
Thanks to our Tolos. Those are our listeners who turn it on, leave it on. We're here for you all day on 105.3 The Fan and on our Odyssey app.
The Sandlot Children's Charity 7th Annual Swinging for a Cause is going to the big league. For the first time, we're taking our event to the home of the Rangers, Globe Life Field. Join us and some of your favorite DFW celebrities and fan hosts Sunday, December 3rd at 4:30 on the field for dinner, drinks, unique experiences, and games like a home run derby and more. The Sandlot provides financial support, allowing kids with physical and intellectual disabilities access to athletic and active experiences. So join us for a great time and for a great cause. Sunday, December 3rd at Globe Life Field. For more information, go to 1053thefan.com/Sandlot.
Fentanyl struck our family a little over 2 years ago when my son Cameron, at the age of 19, died of fentanyl poisoning. Cameron made an incredibly poor choice and purchased a pill off of social media, not realizing it was a completely fake pill. He just wanted some relief from his anxiety. That one pill contained a lethal dose of fentanyl. One pill definitely kills. It's really a matter of life and death.
Visit onepillkillstx.com, sponsored by HHSC.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The leaves are changing. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. And you know what that means? It's time to start making your list and checking it twice. Pro tip, if you're planning to propose this holiday season, it's time to design the perfect ring now. Every Diamonds Direct engagement ring is handcrafted to perfection, which takes time. So don't wait. Start designing your dream ring today. Our experts will make you feel at ease as they educate and guide you to create that one-of-a-kind ring you're envisioning. Our industry-leading warranties will give you total confidence. And as always, our nationwide price guarantee will ensure you get the very best value. Plus, Diamonds Direct has a gift even Santa can't beat. Buy any natural diamond at Diamonds Direct and get a 14-karat gold solitaire setting free. Beat the rush, shop in November, and make this holiday season one to remember. Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys and SMU Athletics. Proud to call the DFW Metroplex home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Owner-operators, are you grossing $14,000 per week? CISO Energy's owner-operators gross on average $14,000 per week, with the top 10% grossing over $23,000 per week. CISO Energy has substantial opportunities for owner-operators wanting to run pneumatic trailers. We have contracts for both pneumatic and bottom drop that extend all the way through 2024 and beyond. Visit SISUEnergyLLC.com to fill out your application. Our experienced team will get you moving on no-touch freight, making the kind of money you deserve. SISUEnergyLLC.com.
Have 2 years CDL required along with H2S. And fit test.
Tolos, Eric Chiafalo here for Platinum Ford in Terrell between Highway 80 and I-20. Super excited to partner with Platinum Ford. Owner Stephen Gilchrist and General Manager Adam Vinci are monster Tolos, and there's a reason why so many head over to the east side of the Metroplex for their next Ford truck, car, or SUV, and you can do the same. I was in the car business for a long time. This is a first-class organization. Everything from Super Duties, full-size Broncos, and more. Start the process now at PlatinumFord.com, and then drive a little further to save a lot more at Platinum Ford.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD FM and HD1, Dallas Fort Worth.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From our fan studio secured by DFWsecurity.com, it's time for the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan.
Hour number 2 of the Get Right with Reggie KG on your home of the Cowboys and World Series champion Texas Rangers. 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula, Chris Strong holding it down for here. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. The truckrate.com text line 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053 if you want to get in on the conversation with you until 11 o'clock tonight. Can this Mavericks defense just be average this season? We'll get into that conversation and a little bit more in and around the association as the Dallas Mavericks get a road win over the Orlando Magic on a second night of a back-to-back. They win 117-102 over Jamal Mosley and the Orlando Magic. Jamal Mosley, of course, former assistant coach for the Dallas Mavericks, as Luka Doncic leads the Mavericks with 29 points on 9 of 17 from the field. You go to the other guys in the box score tonight. Kyrie Irving, 21 points. Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench, another 21 points. He goes 4 of 11 from 3 in 31 minutes of play. Derek Lively, really good once again, 10 points as well on 4 of 5 shooting. Grant Williams was a plus 18 with 13 points.
Always is. Like Grant Williams is incredibly useful in his role. I've really come to enjoy him just being kind of mainstay on this team. But the question that you asked was about the defense. Like, can it be average? Because as of right now, you watch it, and over the course of watching it, you don't see anything particularly extraordinary, do you?
So far, no.
And so the idea is this is an offense that is clearly going to be able to show up consistently. Luka, Kyrie, as long as those guys are available to you. And that was the whole idea. Your offense is going to be a top 5, probably top 3 offense. That was the whole idea of the trade. And beyond that, what you just needed was enough defense. You don't need to be great. You need to be enough. And it seems like generally what you need if you're going to be a top offense is an average defense, and vice versa. If you're going to be a top defense, just enough offense to get something done if you want to be some level of contender in the NBA. Do they have the foundation to be a top or a average defense? And that comes in parts, right? One, we were all offseason, you were looking for this team to give you an anchor defensively because you knew that you do not have perimeter. You don't have like defensive talent on the perimeter. You don't have guys that can lock down on the perimeter. So you need to be able to play a certain level of defense that if people get into the paint, that you can make them, have to think twice about their shots and then also collect rebounds because rebounding is a portion of defense as well. And it seems like Derek Lively is showing up to be that very early, or at least he's showing the proof of that when it comes to the concept. And he has the room to grow into that fully fledged thing, hopefully by the end of this regular season, right? That fully fledged Tyson Chandler-esque, right? Center where you're getting tip outs, you're getting rebounds, you're getting putback dunks, and you're getting finishing lobs, that type of player. And he's showing that he has that capability. Now, outside of that, it's like, what is the scheme going to be, and are you going to be bought into the scheme? Because that's the thing for a player that is not a plus defender is that, okay, now what we have schematically is there. Are you going to buy in? Are you going to give it the effort that's necessary to get the most of what you have and hopefully get your entire defense there? And it seems like thus far in the season, you're seeing the effort, and then you're also seeing them particularly turn it on in times where they absolutely need it. And it kind of led into a theory that it seemed like you had on what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and it kind of played out a little bit tonight, honestly, when you look at what the Mavericks did against the Orlando Magic. They give up 33 points each of the first 2 quarters. So they give up a total of 66 points in the first half. But then you look at what they did in the second half. They give up 17 points in the third quarter and 19 in the fourth quarter. So after giving up 66 in the first half, you give up only 36 overall in the second half, which tells me, okay, maybe this is that old school or the old theory of bend but don't break. It's how we think about NFL teams. All right, we're going to give up a bunch of yards in between the 20s, but when we get inside the red zone, we're going to lock things down and keep you out of the end zone. It feels like for the Mavericks, they may be taking some of that approach. And I think about it that way because what has this team been much more accustomed to doing so far this year offensively? Playing with pace, trying to get up and down the floor a little bit.
Well, a little bit more pace. That's the pace is slipping as you add more to the data set. But it's They're definitely you can see the attempts, the hit-ahead passes. You can see Luka in certain instances trying, get on his horse and get up the court.
So you're expending a little bit more energy on the offensive end with some of that up and down transition, play a little bit to where they may take some of you out on the defensive end. But it feels like in the second halves of games, the idea being, hey, let's keep it close going into the fourth quarter. We believe offensively that we can score with anybody in the league with Luka and Kyrie. If we can get enough stops down the stretch, we feel like we're going to win a lot of ball games. And so far, this team has been really good in the clutch. Well, you say, Kevin, well, maybe that's because they've been playing some mid opponents that have allowed them to be able to win games at the end. We saw what happened against Charlotte. Despite the fact that LaMelo Ball was going crazy in the fourth quarter, they had enough offensively to be able to stem the tide and have enough stops to be able to win that game against the Charlotte Hornets. So maybe this is a bend but don't break type of defense. Coming into tonight, this team was 21st in the NBA in defensive rating at 113 even as far as that was concerned. And you look at their last couple of games coming into tonight, defensive rating, you look at against Charlotte, 113. We know how bad it was against Denver. It had a defensive rating of 127. And prior to that, 110, 108. Okay. But up and down nature so far, this defense for the Mavericks this year.
Yeah, man. I think there is something to the idea that they get to the second half and maybe in the fourth quarter, and then they try and institute the fullness of the game plan against the other team, which against the Charlotte Hornets, let's just take it back to, was later in the game trying to make LaMelo a scorer as opposed to a facilitator. And so the idea that LaMelo Ball was going off was one thing, but one thing you didn't notice is you didn't see him getting the ball to Mark Williams. You didn't see him facilitating out to the likes of PJ Washington or whoever else you want to talk about, Gordon Hayward. And so it became a 1-on-5 effort. And not only that, it seemed like the Mavs were trying their best to, steer the Hornets as best as they can into shot selections that are not advantageous. And the Hornets don't have the discipline of a more advanced or a more experienced team to wait and work for their best shot. And so they seem content to just kind of take those shots. So against the teams that they're winning against right now, it does seem like they're having a decent amount of success at allowing those teams to maybe get themselves into less advantageous shots and then falter by doing those things. The question is that going to be successful against the caliber of teams that they hope to try and compete against? But right now, I think you're right, is that the defense is showing to be enough in late circumstances, but I wonder how much of that is they're playing against certain teams that are not going to have the discipline to work at attacking the faults. And it's not fair to use the only data point of a good team that they've played against, because it is, in fact, the reigning champion Denver Nuggets, and they are very uniquely good at trying to attack those weaknesses and honestly, in some ways, just playing to their strengths, which are superior to most others in the league. But as of right now, like the defensive rating, and of course, again, small sample size through, actually, this only accounts for the 6 games, is 115.2, which ranks 22nd out of 30th in the league. So right now, you're below average, and this is against a lot of teams that are not incredible. So it's going to take a concerted effort. Buy-in is going to be a major part of this. The scheme is going to have to be on point on any night, whether they decide to ice and send players to the baseline, or whether they decide to really play drop and lean into the idea that Derek Lively's down there and altering shots. But whatever the game plan is, it's going to be really necessary that every single player buys in, because you don't have necessarily individual talents. So what's going to have to be is going to be akin to what you saw in the Western Conference run, where everybody knows their job and they do it to the best of their abilities to try and get a certain level of team defense that is sufficient, as opposed to leaning on individual players to be capable. And what's nice is that you've seen Derrick Jones Jr. knock down shots time to time to allow him to be on the floor, to give you some perimeter defense. You've seen Derek Lively begin to start working on some of those ticky-tack fouls. He had to deal with some foul trouble tonight in this game.
He'll learn how to play with fouls as the season goes on.
And the more that he does, the less that you have to go small outside of wanting to go small for advantageous situations. And that should help you defensively as well, because, again, as we mentioned, the closest thing that you have to a defensive anchor is Derek Lively at this point.
Next 2 games for the Mavericks are at home on Wednesday against the Toronto Raptors, and then they welcome in the new-look Los Angeles Clippers with James Harden. Speaking of that, he made his debut tonight for the Los Angeles Clippers, and they caught a beat 'em down in Gotham City from the New York Knicks. Knicks win 111-97. Julius Randle, 27 points. Kawhi Leonard, 18 on the night. James Harden in his debut for
Clippers?
The Clippers. I'm sorry. Got lost for a second there.
Yeah, you buffered a little bit. You good?
Yeah, good. 17 points, 6 of 9 on the field from the field. Negative 18 though.
Yeah, that's really tough. The whole team was not very good on the plus minus, which makes me look at it and say the New York Knicks starters just kind of took them out of it. There's going to be an adjustment period. The Clippers are going to have to figure this out. This is a lot of dudes who can play isolation basketball. They're going to need to find what the mesh is. If they're just going to be an entirely isolation based thing, or if this is going to be if there's going to be some level of system to be built into this. Out of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and they're also starting Russell Westbrook. There's some questions that they need to figure out. So it's not going to be great out the gate. And one thing that we always have to remember is James Harden is a really good regular season player. Like last year, he was an incredible. In fact, he didn't lead the league in assists, right? Like still an incredible basketball player. The question for the end of the season is: are you going to be able to play in clutch moments? And if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are healthy, the answer is we don't really need you to, because those guys are the guys that will take over in the moments if you falter. But figuring out how to play with all those guys, including Russell Westbrook, who had figured into and settled into a nice little role that was consistent, now that's been shaken up again. And as we understand, Russell Westbrook is a unique player to try and figure out how to settle in. So now as you're changing the dynamic, it's going to take them a little bit to get that one settled.
Yeah, their starting five tonight was Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Zubac, Westbrook, and Harden. And Westbrook went with 8 of 13, 17 points as well. Both of them, Harden and Westbrook, played 31 minutes apiece. Paul George was awful tonight. He was 2 of 11 from the field in 34 minutes with just 10 points on the night as well. A couple other quick news and notes from the NBA today. Anthony Davis had to leave tonight's game against the Miami Heat. He's dealing with hip spasms.
Here we go.
For the Los Angeles Lakers. They lost 108-107 to the Miami Heat. He appeared to tweak his left side while jostling with, is it Jamie or Jaime?
Jaime Jaquez?
Yeah. Early or late in the second quarter. So he had to leave the game there. So he will be reevaluated for the Los Angeles Lakers. And unfortunate news for the Portland Trailblazers, as Robert Williams is going to require right knee surgery. And he is expected to be sidelined for an extended period of time for the Portland Trailblazers. So he was actually someone I wouldn't mind seeing in a Dallas Maverick uniform, but he just cannot stay healthy and unfortunately will require surgery on his right knee and will be out for an extended period. That, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, and also Jamal Murray dealing with a hamstring strain. He's going to be out for a little while as well.
Yeah, moving on from Robert Williams for the Celtics, this was part of it. Not entirely. Like, he's still a very valuable player when he plays, but it's that injury issue that can pop up. And the tough thing about it is, if you remember, the Celtics told Robert Williams that playing through an injury wouldn't make it worse. And I'm not saying that this is directly related to it, but it does make you wonder how, if Isaiah Thomas, Robert Williams was failed by, a medical staff again. But it really does stink for that player because when healthy, he is a really fun, modern big. And it just seems like health has really gotten to him over the last couple of years and made him, not available for his team. So that's really unfortunate for him in particular. The Blazers, I don't know. They seem to be in a place where I don't know that they were trying to do winning necessarily. So I don't know how much that changes it, but it does preclude you from figuring out how he might mesh with some of the pieces that you have there.
2 quick scores before we go to break because they are just astronomical. The Philadelphia 76ers get a 146-128 win at home over the Wizards. Joel Embiid tonight, 48 points on 17 of 25 from the field, with 14 of 14 from the free throw line.
But how many shots did Kuzma and your man, what's his name?
Kuzma was their leading scorer for Washington. He went 12 of 20 for 28 points tonight.
20 shots. All right, what's my other guy?
Jordan Poole.
That's the one.
Jordan Poole tonight. 8 of 15 for 23 points.
Yeah, they got some numbers.
They did put up numbers. Speaking of numbers, the Indiana Pacers put the Spurs in the dirt tonight, 152-111.
Good God.
On the night. So they beat the Spurs by 41 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 23 on the night for the Indiana Pacers. They played a bunch of dudes.
Wait, 23 was the leading scorer?
23 was the leading scorer.
I got to watch some Pacers basketball because they seem to be putting up some numbers. And where is that coming from? Like, not to say that they're incapable, but like, where exactly are all of these numbers coming from on a night-to-night basis?
When Buddy Hield goes, 5 of 6 from 3 for 19 points, it was a plus 22 off the bench in 21 minutes of play. He only missed one shot. I mean, they shot an absurd 58% from the field and 53% from the three-point line while shooting nearly 96% from the free throw line.
Very good.
So there you go. Some NBA news and notes, and the Mavericks getting a win tonight in Orlando as well. They are off tomorrow before they take on the Toronto Raptors and Scotty Barnes at the American Airlines Center on Wednesday night. It's to Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105.3 The Fan. Coming up next, some overreaction or not coming out of week number 9, including this one about the Baltimore Ravens. Next on the Get Right.
The latest from the Star in Frisco, as well as inside information from around the league. It's DFW's top football podcast for a reason. Love of the Star with Brian Broaddus and Bobby Bell. Sponsored by Boomer Jacks on the Odyssey app or wherever your favorite podcasts are found.
Step into the ring because the fight to lose weight is real. And it's a fight you have to win because your health is on the line. That's why you need a trainer, a coach, like your personal nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss, because they're going to be in your corner every single day, helping you, motivating and pushing you to let go of the weight and get your life back. Zach Wolchuk of the G-Bag Nation. You guys know I gained some weight back during that cruise I took, and my Soda team has helped me get back on track as I just crushed my last weigh-in, dropping 5 pounds, as I've lost over 80 pounds on the program. You can also check out the over 8,200 5-star Google reviews. Here's a recent Google review from David. I've tried for years to lose just 20 pounds. I even had a doctor's office advising me. It wasn't until I signed up with Soda that I was successful. And once you let go of the weight, they continue to follow and advise you, and there is no charge. No monthly fees. Call Soda today. Visit SOTAweightloss.com. That's SOTAweightloss.com. The Dallas Cowboys and Soda are, say it with me now, state of the art, baby. Hugs and less pounds, everybody.
Electrical issues? Bacon's got the solution. Enjoy 5% off any electrical service, $200 or more. Our skilled electricians will make sure your home is well-powered all season long. Call Bacon for a brighter home.
Everyone loves bacon.
This is Sean Shreve here with Jeff Jr., owner of Trajan Wealth, talking about 401ks. I've always heard that 401ks were great, but you're telling me something different?
Well, 401ks are great when you're employed there. However, if you're no longer employed, you probably don't want to keep that 401k with your old employer, and you probably don't want to roll that old 401k into your new employer's plan.
Really? Why is that?
Well, most 401ks have limited investment options and can cost you thousands of dollars more in fees. And that's true even if you roll it over into your new employer's 401k. You also lose a lot of control by leaving your 401k with your old employer. If the company sells or merges, they often freeze it.
Now that is great insight. If you have a 401k with an old employer, stop what you're doing and call Trajan Wealth. 469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
There's over 3 million drivers in Texas with no insurance. A staggering number only carry the state minimum limits. That's only $30,000 for the entire claim. That's your past, future medical bills, wage loss, pain and suffering, and more. Also, that only covers $25,000 to repair or replace your vehicle. With medical bills and car prices at an all-time high, don't trust someone running into you to have adequate insurance. Make sure you have uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage on your own policy. This is Shane Mullen with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. Call for a free consultation. 214-INJURED. Online, mullenandmullen.com.
It's a Cowboys Monday, brought to you by Twin Peaks and K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing on 105.3 The Fan.
Let's head out. The theater's about to close. Wait, what does that sign say? Warning, watch your step? No, next to it. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Don't wait for Black Friday. At DFW Security, it's Black November. Get DFW Security's Deal of the Year on smart security with 3 cameras, installation, and phone app. DFW Security's technology is unmatched.
DFWsecurity.com.
Congrats on the World Series win, Texas fans. Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to celebrate your hometown team's championship. Swing by your local Academy store today or shop online at academy.com to find officially licensed jerseys, tees, caps, and more.
Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This segment on 105.3 The Fan is sponsored by Frankel & Frankel. Life is unpredictable. Accidents happen. Frankel & Frankel are the go-to attorneys for car and truck wrecks in DFW. If you or a loved one has been in an accident, contact Frankel & Frankel for a free consultation at truckwreck.com or call 214-817-333-3333.
A little overreaction or not coming out of this past weekend's NFL action. It's the Get Right with Reggie KG here on your home of the Cowboys and World Series champion Texas Rangers 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula, Chris Strong holding it down for here. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. Coming up in 16 minutes, we'll go inside the gray area where, of course, there is no gray area. We'll do that here in 16 minutes.
It's such an active night because in addition to Monday Night Football,
which I completely forgot about,
your Dallas Stars being down 3-1 currently in I believe third period. Yes, I forgot that college basketball is going. And so me and you during that break were just catching up on scores from men's and women's college basketball and some incredible highlights. But then as we were coming back, I decided to look at the box score of this Monday night Chargers-Jets game.
All right.
And your leading passer is Zach Wilson with 116 yards or 161 yards right now.
What?
Justin Herbert is 11 for 23 for 91 yards, averaging 4 yards an attempt.
Okay, so you mean to tell me the only touchdown, one of the 2 touchdowns that they had was the punt return that they had? And
that looks like the only touchdown.
That's the only touchdown that the Chargers have right now?
That's what it's looking like, dog.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Other than that, we kicking field goals, Bubba.
Okay. All right. Shout out to that explosive Charger offense tonight.
I gotta be missing something.
Oh, Joey Bosa out here wrecking shop. That's what's going on. He's got 2.5 sacks tonight, too.
Oh, it was defense. No. Okay, that's the punt return. Where all the scoring come from? Hold on.
I like.
There's an Austin Eckler rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Right,
I was like, there's got to be a touchdown here somewhere, right? But no, Joey Bosa's having himself a night. He's got 2.5 sacks for the Los Angeles Chargers as they lead 17-6 with 2:35 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, so don't watch that. Listen to us. We'll give you updates as necessary.
By the way, can't stay in the NFL this upcoming weekend. Is
just in general, or?
Well, this particular reason.
Okay.
So apparently they just refuse to flex out the Denver Broncos as far as primetime games are concerned.
You gonna get this, Russell Wilson?
Bruh.
You gonna get it.
Let it go, man. The future ain't bright for him at this point. Just let it go.
NFL fan bases. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Anyway, overreaction or not coming out.
Yes, that's an overreaction to not flex. Thank you for asking.
Is that an overreaction?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You got the overreaction.
That's true. Dan Graziano of ESPN has put together a list of overreactions for Week 9 in the NFL. This was an interesting weekend of football, and our prognosticator right here on the truckwreck.com text line, unfortunately, was not able to keep the streak going. A couple of weeks of some really good, bold predictions that came true. Unfortunately, their bold prediction this weekend was that the Seahawks would handle the Ravens, and no. The Ravens hit them with the beat them down.
I tried to tell y'all the Ravens were going to put them in the dirt this weekend, man. I tried to tell y'all.
To the point where a lot of people are saying that the Baltimore Ravens are the number 1 team in the NFL, And Dan Graziano goes as far as saying the Ravens will be the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. Overreaction or not?
That is not an overreaction. I'm not going to lie to you. What did I tell you yesterday? I said the Ravens looking real Super Bowl contenderish right now.
Brother.
After what they did to Seattle. Yes, it wasn't even close, man. And it's kind of weird because it feels like they have flown a little under the radar as the season. I mean, now you're starting to get some of the recognition, but it felt like early on, it's like, oh man, the Ravens are playing some pretty good football. Then all of a sudden you look around, they're just beating down everything in his path. And I thought it was going to get a little bit more of a better game between the Ravens and the Seahawks yesterday.
Right.
And the Ravens were like, actually, no, we're good on that. We're good on that.
Well, the thing about it is this was very much a test of the folks whose perspective on football is wins will tell you what it is, right? Especially like the what's the adage? You are what your record says you are.
That's right.
Right. And the tough thing about it is you could watch some of these games, and if you watch the Ravens play, you go, oh, they are dominating that team without looking at the score. It was just certain. It was something. It was always something, right? There was an instance where Lamar Jackson was putting the ball on the ground sometimes because your line was getting beat, and you just got people knocking the ball out of your hand as you're trying to deliver the football, right? There were some instances. There was one of these games where I think it was the Steelers game with the Ravens where his receivers just refused to catch the ball. I don't know what he said to them that week or what happened because it seemed like their hands went on strike. Right. And it just feels like it's always something. However, when you break it down into units, that defense is a monster. Geno Stone at safety, who I believe is a backup, if I remember correctly, or started the season as a backup, is out here catching everything that they can get pressure. Right. That defense is just a monster. If one of the best defenses in the league, I'm willing to say top 3 defense in the league. And then you've got an offense that when dudes are catching the football, they can really attack you in the passing game. And then, of course, you can still come back to the idea that they can run the football. They literally have everything at their disposal. It's just if everything is going to come together. And thus far, it's come together in a certain way. And you look around the league as of right now, and is there another team that you view as being better, as having all these things all together? Maybe, just maybe, with the runway that they're building, the Bengals finding their way into that for me, because you now see what's happening when Joe Burrow is healthy and back at the center of that offense. But other than that, this team looks like a monster at the very least in the AFC, to the point where this does not feel like an overreaction at all.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens feel like the most complete team right now through 9 games. And you mentioned it, not just with Lamar Jackson. He went 21 of 26 for 187 yards. Didn't throw a touchdown, but they are beating the brakes off of people in the run game. They ran for nearly 300 yards to the tune of 7.3 yards per carry.
Is that good?
Yesterday. Keaton Mitchell with 9 carries for 138 yards, averaging 15 yards a carry yesterday. Yeah, Baltimore, I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing out there right now. So that is definitely not an overreaction right now.
All right, let's move it along.
All right.
In our overreaction or not, we got to go to South Beach. The Miami Dolphins are actually, I think it's, what is it? Miami Gardens is where they play. Is that where the Hard Rock Stadium is?
Something like that. Hialeah Gardens, something like that.
Something like that. The Dolphins, if you look at their record, they got some wins, but you look at who they're against, and it's a little concerning. This was another instance where they played in Frankfurt, Germany this weekend, and they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they were down. What was it, 14-0?
21-0.
21-0.
Yeah.
They clawed back to make it 21-14, and that is the final. And that seems to fall back in line with the idea that they can't beat good teams. So Dan Graziano writes that the Dolphins will flame out in the playoffs because they cannot beat good teams. Overreaction or not?
That's not an overreaction. They're a little fraudulent to me.
Ooh.
I thought I was on CBS Radio this past weekend, and
wow, look at the flex.
Well, I mean, he asked me, he said, how do you feel about the Chiefs and the Dolphins game? I was like, I think the Dolphins, I think this is the game that they actually step up and beat this game because Kansas City's look vulnerable. I know defensively they've been much better so far.
Monstrous on defense.
But offensively has not been, what we've been accustomed to, for Patrick Mahomes in this passing game. And I thought Miami was actually going to be able to take it to them and be able to have some success. They didn't show up. I mean, in the second half, they found a little bit. Cedric Wilson had a nice touchdown, catch, in that game as well. But yeah, man, Miami, you know what Miami reminds me of right now?
What's that?
They remind me of Notre Dame. They can beat all these, mediocre and mid teams.
I love that you're slandering 2 teams at once. This is nice.
Yeah, I can't stand Notre Dame. But when it comes to actually beating real opponents, worth a damn, it's not happening for them. And I get it from the 2-4. They're missing, Devon Achane, their talented running back for Texas A&M. But man, I thought Miami was actually going to win this game. So
yeah, but Devon Achane does not explain the significant difference in offensive capabilities when they're playing certain teams, when they're playing bad teams versus when they're playing teams that we believe or teams that simply have a winning record.
Well, they didn't beat the Eagles. They got busted up by the Buffalo Bills, and now they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, who now get to go into their bye week and get healthy and rested as they get ready to take on the Philadelphia Eagles in 2 weeks.
By the way, the Kansas City Chiefs have their own, we give them a pass because we've just gotten used to the Kansas City Chiefs rounding into form, and we kind of believe in them as an institution as opposed to the team that they're putting out right now. Because offensively, that thing is stale. They need to figure some things out, and particularly on the pass catching side, you need to find ways to get Rashee Rice or whoever else.
And he got a touchdown catch in the game
on
Sunday. Yeah,
you need to find ways to make these things more effective, and you probably need to lean a little bit more carefully on Isaiah Pacheco, understanding that he's not a perfect running back, but you got to do something there because that defense is really good, and it's almost weird that they have kind of flipped to a defense first team, even though we continue to look over there at Patrick Mahomes, but that defense is leading the way there.
And that's the scary part about the Chiefs is that once this offense does come along, this defense right now is playing like a top 10 unit in the league. So, yeah, Chiefs are in a decent position to get healthy during the bye week for sure, though.
All right, another overreaction or nah here on the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan. CJ Stroud, the number 2 overall pick and quarterback of the Houston Texans. How do we say it on this show? Hoopin'. CJ Stroud is an MVP candidate and will be one for years to come. He completed against the Buccaneers, completed 30 of 42 passes, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. The 470 yards, mind you, the most passing yards ever in a game by a rookie. And then also led a touchdown, game-winning touchdown drive with 46 seconds left in the game. Take a 4-point lead. Yeah, man. CJ Stroud, MVP candidate.
Half overreaction there.
I don't even know what that means, but okay. I'll let you cook.
Because it's a little overreaction as far as an MVP candidate this year. We're doing a lot. I think I saw Orlovsky say something like that today. I'm like, okay, we're doing a little bit too much here.
Are we?
Now, maybe for years to come, I think we might have something here. Here's the funniest part about his day yesterday. He threw for 470.
That's right.
Do you know who were 3 of the 5 leading receivers yardage-wise yesterday in Week 9 of the National Football League?
Well, since you said it like that, I'm guessing it's going to be Nico Collins.
Nope.
No, not Nico Collins?
No.
Okay, well, definitely Tank Dell.
114. He was 5th.
Who else was catching the ball? It wasn't. Oh, Dalton Schultz was one of them.
130 for Dalton Schultz yesterday. Guess who was the second leading receiver in the NFL behind CeeDee Lamb yesterday?
Another former Cowboy.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, Noah Brown was cooking. I forgot.
Noah Brown went for a $153 yesterday.
Which let's talk about. Bobby Slowick won the offensive coordinator there of the Kyle Shanahan tree.
That's a madman.
But then also, CJ Stroud, I kind of want to say not an overreaction. Because this is the thing, right? These guys are good players. We know Noah Brown is a good player. We know Tank Dell is
Come on,
pretty
dog.
good player.
153.
That's my point, right? This is the thing, is where we start having the narrative discussions about quarterbacks. What does it sound like he is doing right now? Elevating the players around him.
Oh, I like what you're doing there.
As a rookie quarterback, to grab hold of an offense and then elevate the player, he got Dalton Schultz out here running around like Travis Kelce, dog. And I mean that no disrespect to Dalton Schultz, because I believe him to be an incredibly reliable tight end. But like that,
130?
Like that?
I mean, low-key, he has been hooping this year for those Houston Texans.
And the thing that's fun for him is that he'll get into the postgame and he'll break it down for you, which is even more fun when you consider what was it, the K2 or Q2 or whatever the S2 results, that test that's replaced that Wonderlit.
Yeah.
How he had really bad results and people want to make it seem like he's going to be a bad quarterback. This dude understands football, dog, and he's out here hooping. And as of right now, I am 100% willing to put him in this conversation for MVP.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think that's stretching it a little bit, just a little bit. But I like his future. His future is good. Here's the thing I have a question about, too. So Bobby Slowick, as you mentioned, former coordinator with
the Niners. Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator with the Niners last year, I guess.
Hey, man. Kyle Shanahan Mike McDaniel now head coach in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Slowick looking like he about to be a head coach at some point down the road.
Yeah, he's gonna get a head coaching job off the strength.
Hey, can we get one of them? Can the Cowboys get one of them from Kyle Shanahan's system? I want one.
Sounds like somebody's calling for the job of Mike McCarthy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know about all that, but I just
how you gonna get one then?
I just want something creative like that because that looks fun. That looks fun.
It does look fun, don't it?
What they're doing.
You ain't have fun this weekend?
I mean, it was great.
You know,
it was great. Shout out to Dak Prescott.
You sound ungrateful. You see that? You hear the ungratefulness in his voice. It's just down there. It's like if it's just a little bit down in the chest. You can hear it. It's in there. There's just a little bit of lack of gratefulness. You see all that fun that Miami having with that offense. You see all the fun that C.J. Stroud and the Texans having with that offense. Never thought I would say that out loud. Jeez, here we are. By the way, to finish that off, yeah, that's right. Robert Saleh, head coach in New York. Yeah, I was just talking offensively. Of course, you can talk about D'Amico and everybody else.
Okay, so we talked about 3 of the 5 leading wide receivers from Week 9.
That's right.
So CeeDee Lamb, of course, is number 1, had 191 yards.
Because he is him.
Noah Brown, 153. Do you know who was the 3rd leading receiver in Week 9 of the National Football League this week?
It's another former Cowboy, wasn't it?
That's right.
Oh, was it Amari?
Amari went off for $139.
I love how the top 5 rankings were just like banter. Cowboys banter rankings. Give KG stuff to talk about.
Bruh.
Was what the NFL did with the receivers this weekend.
CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz were your 4 leading receivers this weekend. All right. We like our guys. That's right, 901. We like our guys.
We got one of them. And the best one at that.
All right. I'll buy it.
I wasn't selling anything, but okay.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it. That's a little overreaction or not here from week number 9 in the NFL. That is the most hilarious thing. 4 of the top receivers this week.
I mean, you got a 5th round pick. Sorry, I'm being a jerk. I apologize. I didn't need to do that. It was a loss this week, too. I'm just compounding. I apologize.
Coming up next, we're going to go inside the gray area where this former NFL linebacker is back after he was banned for scamming people out of this.
What, money, I'm guessing?
No. Next on the Get Right.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizin, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything.
after being banned from scamming Pokemon collectors. You remember this story from a while back?
I'm trying to. I was like, all right, I remember Blake Martinez. He used to play for the Giants, didn't he?
At one point he did.
Okay. I remember Blake Martinez. I don't remember him retiring, or if I do, it's fuzzy in my memory.
Well, he retired to start selling Pokemon cards. Now, if you don't remember this story.
Yeah, that doesn't sound smart.
Well, just 4 months ago, Martinez said.
Well, I guess there's a lot of people in the collectibles market. I shouldn't say that. I apologize.
Well, of course, just 4 months ago, Martinez said that he was finished with the NFL and retiring. Now he's had a change of heart as he's going to be signing with the Carolina Panthers. Now, what led to the sudden change of plans? It turns out his Pokemon live streaming empire took a major hit when allegations of rigged gambling started surfacing.
Wait, he was running a gambling ring?
Martinez, who retired at the age of 29 to pursue his dream of running a Pokemon trading cards company, recently faced a permanent ban due to accusations of scamming Pokemon collectors.
Speechless. Don't have words.
Those are pretty valuable.
Absolutely. Like the trading card game is berserk in a lot of different ways, right? Especially more so now. There's a lot of people putting money into it. I know that obviously the KNC Masterpiece, you've got Kevin Hagelin and Mike Bassick, also both huge when it comes to collectibles, particularly trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still. You mentioned gambling, and I was like, well, hold on, where is the gambling in the Pokemon trading cards? Like, I thought you sold the cards or what have you. Now there's gambling involved. Like, my mind is swimming right now, so I'm going to need more details, KG.
Well, the incident came to light when reports from numerous community members on Whatnot raised concerns about Martinez's activities within the platform. Martinez, who had decided to venture into the world of card trading after his retirement, had quickly established a successful business name, Blake's Breaks, focusing on reselling rare and sought-after Pokemon TCG cards.
Sure. I'm going to pretend like I know what those letters mean.
You don't have to. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
In less than a year, his company amassed, check this out, a staggering $11.5 million in revenue, attracting both Pokemon enthusiasts and collectors. However,
I'm guessing those metrics were not all on the up and up.
This seemingly flourishing endeavor took a dark turn as reports began circulating about irregularities, boys and girls, in Martinez's operations on the platform.
Oh, bad bookkeeping. All right. Now I'm understanding what's happening. Yes, sir.
Now, the Whatnot community, which prides itself, check this out, on ensuring a safe and transparent environment for buyers and sellers, flagged suspicious activities tied to Martinez's account.
Okay, I just want to know where the scam is. Like, I just want you to understand. I've been sitting here waiting to hear where the scam is.
It's coming.
Because I'm a scam appreciator. Not that I would like to be scammed,
Wow,
nor that I actually do the scams, but I like to see, like, how'd you try and get over? Because I feel like that's a human aspect. Every once in a while, people trying to get over. I like to kind of catalog that. Also, shout out to Swaggy Booties letting me know that TCG means trading card game.
Okay. You feel better now, a little more educated?
I do. Okay. And now I just want to see the scam. Show me the scam, KG. Show me the scam.
Well, behind door number 1 on August 4th, 2023, the official Whatnot Twitter account issued a statement confirming the permanent ban of Martinez and his associated account, Blake's Breaks, from the platform. The statement underscored the company's commitment to maintaining a fair and honest marketplace for its users, emphasizing their dedication to upholding community guidelines and addressing trust and safety issues promptly. Now, the announcer not only confirmed the ban, but also hinted at the possibility that multiple individuals were involved in the alleged misconduct. Furthermore, his Whatnot account, users are greeted with a notice saying this account has been permanently removed. So, yeah, he was basically out here scamming potential buyers of these cards.
All right, so look, we've got someone on the Twitch named Ponderfunk who seems to have a better grasp on this.
What?
Ponderfunk.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right.
They said it wasn't bad bookkeeping. Okay, very good. They say the scam is that he would run bets on what card would be pulled, right? As you break the new deck, deck or whatever. Pack is the word. Thank you. Pack. And then based on what people picked, he would change it so that they were always wrong. Therein lies the scam. So I guess he was pulling like the 3-card Monty or whatever.
Wait.
So it's like
we're betting.
Yeah, he was playing Who's That Pokemon high stakes, right? He was like, look, man, whatever this next card is, whoever bets, you bet on it. If you guess it right, you win the money, except he would just always pick the wrong one. Am I getting that right, Ponder Funk? Is that what we're saying?
How come a friend of his wasn't like, hey, can you give 1-800-STOP-GAMBLING a call? Because you're out here doing too much. Doing too damn much. So he just was trying to figure out which card would get pulled next, and then he would trick everybody. Say, actually, no, this wasn't the right one.
That is what I'm understanding from Ponder Funk.
Well, shout out to Mr. or Mrs. Ponder Funk.
Thank you. Thank you for your explanation of the scam. I appreciate that. It also makes me want to go, hey, is Blake Martinez smart?
Well, it sounds like he might be broke. That's why he's going to, participate in car crashes again for 3 hours at a time every Sunday.
That answers my question. I really want to know, how did he think this was going to end, right? Because that's often my question with anybody who runs some level of scam is like, did you think about what the end game was, or did you only think about the way that the scam works to start?
Hold on.
Because you were going to get caught.
Hold on. This is a $1 billion industry? Last year alone, nearly $1 billion in sports cars were sold through the site Whatnot, and it became the preferred destination for athletes and entertainers dabbling in the space. In May, Saints running back Jamal Williams hosted a live stream event with the voice actor from his favorite anime, Naruto. And last summer, rapper Post Malone streamed a one-on-one match of Magic the Gathering, losing $100,000 to a fan in the process?
I really do love how much you sound like somebody's daddy reading about these. He said Naruto?
I wanted to make sure I said it correct. I wasn't trying to,
I love how it sounded like you said Magic the Gathering with disdain, which is hilarious to me.
Well, I mean, clearly, how old am I?
You 36.
So I don't know anything about any of this.
Oh, that's not true. There are 36-year-olds that have been playing Magic the Gathering.
I said me, personally.
Magic the Gathering has been around for a while. It's actually a long time game when it comes to that.
And those can get expensive.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering, yeah. But are these mainly sports cards? Or
no, look, he sounds like he's doing Pokemon cards.
Yeah, no, this is nuts, man.
We're not talking about tops. We're not talking about baseball. Okay.
I must be in the wrong business because I didn't. $1 billion industry? That is what?
Yeah, man. Look, man, everybody's got their stuff, right? Everybody's got the things that entertain and that they enjoy. And, you put money towards your things, the things that make you happy. And for a lot of folks, trading cards of various sorts.
Well, what's the lesson? What's the lesson here, boys and girls?
Don't be out here betting. House always wins.
That, and don't get to a point where you're broke enough where you've got to go back and participate in car crashes.
Because you're probably not that good at football that you can go get millions.
To have to do it all over again. Hopefully it works out for Blake Martinez.
214. Don't get it twisted. They exist in that space as well. Only KG will have only KG and the 214 will appreciate what I just said.
And Chris, if he's looking.
Yeah, everybody else, I'm sorry. I can't really do nothing for you there. Actually, I probably could, but I'm just not going to.
Oh man.
That's the gray area? Is that the gray area?
I was trying to think of a way to help them out, be able to realize it, and I can't think of the what's my movie's name with Will Ferrell and what's his name? Damn it.
A movie with Will Ferrell and someone else. That narrows it down.
Riley. What's Riley's first name?
John C. Riley?
Yeah. And they were step brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Boats and, no?
I mean, I think people understand.
All right, cool. Let's just go to break on the
Yeah, don't scam people is the lesson.
Just go to break.
Mm-hmm.
Through your phone, smart speaker, or more, name your device. The Odyssey app is there for you, thanks to our friends at Comerica.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, risankizumab Rizin, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Football and Miller Lite, America's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff, tailgates going way past postgame. You never forget the way some things taste. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Bodark Lake, the first major lake to be built in Texas in 30 years. Introducing Bodark Shores. See for yourself. Watch the video tour at 800-920lake.com. Be among the first to own property on Texas' newest lake, a ground floor opportunity. Just north of DFW, Saturday, November 11th, the grand opening, the most anticipated lake community in Texas. Stunningly beautiful and private property. And the price is a dream come true. 800-920lake.com. 1 to 10 acre lake properties from only $89.9. A prestigious gated entrance, heavy weather covered boat slips, a private lakeside park designed for a lucky few to make every day feel like a luxurious vacation so close to home. Your chance to be the first generation to own lake property here. Call now for your invitation to the grand opening and meet Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer Randy White, November 11th. Space is limited. 800-920-LAKE or click 800-920lake.com.
At Reliant Air Conditioning, we provide comfort to homeowners who are tired of being taken advantage of. Schedule online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877 your hero.
The holidays are always hectic, but with the BMW i5 and iX, you can make them 100% electric. Make every journey a thrill with the cutting-edge driver technology in the BMW iX, or step into the first ever BMW i5 with its dynamic performance and iconic presence. Find your ultimate 100% electric BMW at the Electric BMW Road Home Sales Event and turn the holidays from hectic to electric. BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Lease a 2024 BMW iX for $799 per month. Visit HoustonBMWDealers.com today.
Let's head out. The theater's about to close.
Wait, what does that sign say?
Warning, watch your step?
No, next to it.
If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Whenever you're in need of electrical service of any kind, skip the search and go directly to Mr. Electric. Here's Mr. Electric's Robert Loomis with reasons why.
Because we're reliable. You can count on us to do exactly what we say we're going to do when we're going to do it. And we'll respect your time and strive to complete our work with minimal disruption to your routine. We want to leave things better than we found it.
Trust the electrical pros from Mr. Electric to keep your home and family safe. Schedule an appointment at Mr. Electric Dallas or MrElectricFortWorth.com. They have the power to make things better.
This is the exclusive home of Dallas Cowboys football. KRLD FM and HD1, Dallas, Fort Worth. Let's go, Cowboys.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
From our fan studio secured by DFWsecurity.com, it's time for the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan.
Final hour of the Get Right with Reggie KG on your home of the Cowboys and World Series champion Texas Rangers. 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
That's right.
Chris Strong holding it down for you here. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. The TruckRed.com text line 877-881-1053. We're going to get you caught up on the latest headlines on this Monday night, busy Monday night of action across the sports landscape. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula if you want to get at us on Twitter. As we're back. Full shows, full time. Rangers win the World Series.
That's right.
Mavericks win tonight.
That's also correct.
Stars unfortunately fall tonight.
Unfortunately, that is also true.
FC Dallas still handling business right now in the MLS Cup playoffs right now.
Yeah, they come to a decisive Game 3 in their first round matchup with the Seattle Sounders. That match will be Friday night, 9 p.m.
I feel like this series has been for forever at this point. Because when the playoffs start?
Forever ago, I guess. I don't remember. It was in the middle of the World Series run. I couldn't pay attention.
Oh, man.
A lot of things happening.
That's going to be my favorite part of 2023 sports-wise.
It's just the gap in your memory?
Yes.
From the postseason?
Because locked in so much on the MLB playoffs, and with good reason as the Texas Rangers win the World Series from the 682.
Sorry. I just saw Victor Wembanyama pin somebody's shot on the backboard. It feels like he's going to get one of those a game. Just a ridiculous block.
We're going to see him for the next 15 years. Just out here just doing incredible stuff.
I mean, that's assuming that the tall man affliction does not hit him with like the foot injuries.
Oh, wow. Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm just saying, like that's one of those things that happens with when you get really tall dudes, particularly ones that are not just centers, dudes that have a little bit of movement to them. Foot injuries are one of those things that we have to watch out for. So I'm hoping that he does not have one of those that really takes him out of the game.
You know what that randomly makes me think of? Kevin Durant has come back from really two of the more, devastating injuries that you could have as a 7-foot tall basketball player.
The Jones fracture in the Achilles?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't think people have a real appreciation for what Kevin Durant, injury-wise, has been able to come back from, because those are two injuries that had the potential to derail your career at either point of his career.
And the ways in which he is still so very good after
Yes.
them, even if you see some level of a slight decline, like defensively is where you definitely notice it nowadays. He's still really good. And that says something, considering that he's had the Achilles injury and also the Jones fracture.
That's how we kick off your headlines here on this Monday night. We got Monday Night Football with 3:12 left in the fourth quarter. The Los Angeles Chargers beating down the Jets 27-6. Joey Bosa, 2.5 sacks. Khalil Mack's got a strip sack of his own, as the Chargers haven't got a lot from Justin Herbert on the night, but defensively have just been completely dominant over Zach Wilson and the New York Jets, as the Chargers look to move to 4-4 on the season. As I mentioned, Joey Bosa, 2.5 sacks. Khalil Mack's got 2 sacks. I'm not even going to try to say his name, but a really good player on defense named Tuli. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Tui Pelotu?
That's why I didn't even.
Tui Pelotu?
Yeah, he's got 2 sacks as well. So in total,
Look at you not even trying.
Well, I said the guy with Tuli's his first name, and you decided to take on the challenge. Good for you for being a better man than me.
That's right.
Never
forget it.
7 sacks in total for the Chargers tonight, as they are just whooping the Jets. Zach Wilson, 25 of 39 for 202 on the night. They got a real problem with that Dalvin Cook thing.
Oh boy, he's throwing 40. Well, yeah, Dalvin Cook was already not looking like himself in Minnesota. I still don't understand why they went and made that deal. They had a bunch of running backs that looked good in their system.
Well, you know who was the starting quarterback at the time when they brought him in there.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers would have blocked for him. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, I mean, you would have had him throwing the football, create some balance there with 2 really good running backs.
You already have really good running backs. You just gave up capital for a dude who was not looking like himself anymore.
Well, Breece Hall was coming off the torn ACL. I get why. I liked the move at the time when they made it.
I didn't.
I thought it was another way to add some more offense there, but it just hasn't worked out. But namely, of course, there's no Aaron Rodgers. That's a big deal there.
Yeah, that offensive line isn't all that great. Which, hey, maybe that should make y'all stop talking about Derrick Henry like he was about to fix this. But it probably won't.
What are you doing?
Talking directly to the Cowboys fans. What do you mean? I did not hide my hand there at all. I talked directly to the Cowboys fans.
Get Derrick Henry up in here. Look, man.
Like that was going to change something.
And run game's not good for the Cowboys right now.
Boy. And your man, Big Mike, better get to work.
Come on, Big Mike. Speaking of running backs, I feel terrible for this player. Cam Akers tore his Achilles again.
Yeah, man.
But this time it was in the other leg. He tore his left Achilles this time around. Of course, he tore his right Achilles in the first week of the 2021 season when playing for the Rams. He tears his left Achilles on Sunday as the Minnesota Vikings got the win this past weekend.
Man, it's hard out here for running back.
Yeah, that's shout out to Josh Dobbs, though, who came in, had a hell of a game to be able to help them get that win.
Josh Brake in case of emergency Dobbs. Like this is the third time that he has showed up to a team on short notice and then done this. And it's like,
I got you. Don't even worry about it.
And it's like what they did was they were like, we need to raise the level of difficulty because with the Titans and with the Arizona Cardinals, at least he got to practice before it. This time he ain't even. There's no way he took snaps because there's no way that they were like, hey, we're going to give you snaps when we need to get Jalen Duren. Is that his name? No, Jalen Duren's the NBA player. What's his name? Jaren Hall. It was one of them. Jaren Hall ready for this game. There's no way he took snaps. He just jumped in once Jaren Hall ends up in concussion protocol, and he must have just been telling these dudes, hey, number 80, what I'm gonna need you to do? I'm gonna need you to go here. I want you to hang a right. And then
I think I'll find you down there.
I'll find you, but more likely than not, I'm gonna run because I don't know what y'all doing out there. In fact, like I'm pretty sure they said that Kevin O'Connell was in his earpiece trying to break down the plays for him up until the earpiece cuts out.
Cut off the communication.
And then he went and figured out the rest on his own. And I was just like, yo, this dude is something other, right? Because Josh Dobbs, man, bravo to you to have been in this situation 3 times and acquitted yourself well 3 times. That's incredible.
And again, this is why I tell people that the Minnesota Vikings are the most unserious team in the NFL. After starting off, what was it, 1-4 or whatever it is? Yeah, 1-4. They have now won 4 straight games over the Bears, 49ers, Packers, and Falcons.
I have no idea what to do with that. Because I'm not going to get out here and say that they're good.
They're unserious is what they are.
Okay, very good.
Having won 4 straight. They do play the Saints, though, at home.
Oh, boy, that's another opportunity for a win. Because
now the Saints been playing a little bit better. The
Saints are a frustrating franchise in and of themselves.
Okay, Saints been doing all right now.
And no 214 Josh Dobbs ain't no Geno Smith. Please stop that.
Why you say it with such disdain?
Because he's not.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Wow.
What you want me to do? We have not done a single headline, mind you.
We've done 2 so far.
Okay, very good.
Including the Mavericks. Mavericks win tonight on the road. They overcome a 15-point deficit to win by 15. They get a 117-102 win over the Orlando Magic tonight on the second night of a back-to-back. Luka and Kyrie both played. Luka led the Mavericks with 29 points on 9 of 17 from the field. Paolo Banchero, 22 points on 8 of 18. Timmy Hardaway Jr. playing some good basketball still for your Mavericks. He had 21 points off the bench for your Mavericks. Derek Lively was really good as well. 10 points.
Hold on.
What happened?
I'm sorry to stop you in stride.
What happened?
Kyrie Irving led the team in rebounds, second only to Tim Hardaway Jr.?
No, wait.
Am I reading this box score right? Or did something not load up right?
No. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 6 rebounds. Oh, wait a minute. No,
they both
right.
had 6 rebounds.
Oh, they did lead the team in rebounds tonight.
Brother.
What kind of nasty work is that?
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Because I saw Kyrie had 10 assists. He was what? 4 rebounds shy of a triple-double tonight? Yeah, he had 21 points and 10 assists. He also had 3 steals as well.
Yes, and a couple of those happened early. He was very much active and getting after the length of the Orlando Magic. They are very lengthy players. They rarely play a point guard, particularly one that's like kind of smaller. So you have the likes of 6'10" Franz Wagner, or I believe Paolo Banchero is 6'9", right in that range. Both of those guys kind of handling the basketball. There's some opportunities for someone like a 6'2" Kyrie Irving to slide in there and steal the ball.
So the Mavericks now 6-1 on the young season. Stats you need to know for the Mavericks so far this year. The Mavericks 6-1 record to begin the season is tied for the second best start through 7 games in franchise history. Back in 02-03, they started 7-0 while en route to going 14-0 to start that season. 04-05, they started 6-1, finished 7-1 to start the year. And then this year, 6-1. To start off with. So Mavericks playing some good basketball as they have won 6 of their first 7 games. They're off tomorrow before they get back on the court for 2 consecutive home games. They finally end the stretch where they alternated road and home games for each of their first, few games of the season. So now the Mavericks come home for 2 straight home games when they take on Toronto on Wednesday, and then they take on the new look Los Angeles Clippers on Friday. So there you go. And then they go on the road for what is 4 straight games, 2 games in New Orleans. Then they take on, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch them play against the Washington Wizards on the 15th of November. And then, a big one on Saturday, November 18th. You know who they play that night?
I absolutely don't.
That would be the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis.
The kind of, I don't want to say flailing. That feels a little too strong, but the still figuring it out Milwaukee Bucks, mind you.
Mm-hmm. No, Lively did not have 16 and 14 tonight.
Yeah, that was a 10-5 performance in 16 minutes thereabouts. Picked up 5 fouls, and that probably tells you why those numbers are not as robust as you would hope. And yeah, Derek Lively, this is another one of those lessons that he's going to have to learn, is how to stay out of foul trouble, how to not pick up some of the ticky-tack fouls that'll allow him to stay on the floor, because that's going to be necessary for him.
Mavericks only gave up 36 points in the second half after giving up 66 in the first half. Speaking of the NBA, the evil for some has been defeated.
In a way.
Because there was an announcement today when it came to Diamond Sports Group, who oversees Bally Sports, and what they in the NBA struck today.
Yeah, Diamond Sports Group came to an agreement with the NBA to carry basketball games for the 15 teams that had agreements with them through the end of this season. So, unfortunately for Mavs fans that have a little bit of trouble accessing Bally Sports, that is where the Mavericks will be continued to be carried throughout the course of the season. I think the upside that you're thinking about is, through this deal, it also then allows for those teams in the NBA to take back their streaming rights, or take back their broadcast rights is the word I was looking for, after this season. And so at that point, they can sign new deals, whether they want to sign again with Bally Sports or another broadcaster, or if they want to go with their own or do some level of streaming, or whatever the possibilities are. All 15 teams, including your Dallas Mavericks, after the season would have that opportunity to do that. So it possibly could be a temporary continuation with Bally. It also possibly could be a continuation after that. We have no knowledge of that. But for right now, the Mavericks will remain on Bally along with the other 50 or the other 14 teams that have an agreement with Diamond Sports. But that could open them up to, in the summer of next year, have an opportunity to strike a new deal with a different sports network or a different situation for the broadcast.
Yeah, Mark Cuban recently saying that all options are on the table when it comes to what the Mavericks could do, when it comes to their television rights, and now having this deal being struck. I would imagine these teams at the end of this year start to find alternatives. And
yeah, the Diamond Sports situation has not been what you want, and they're currently going through bankruptcy, which is how you end up with this agreement. But the thing that I continue to find interesting about this is the revenue from the rights deals and the advertising is enough to pay the rights deals. The reason why they're having issue is the way that they financed the company. And so in theory, this should not be as big of an issue as it is, but Diamond Sports kind of managed it poorly. So that makes me wonder if the NBA will have that consideration going forward, or if they'll just look at it and say that the money should be fine now that they learned their lesson and they go through bankruptcy.
I'm interested to see if you get a lot more direct-to-consumer products from these teams, which I think may be the way to go, especially if you're wanting to control the way that the programming is disseminated. That
allows you to control the programming, but then that also gives you the responsibility of doing all the advertising, making it profitable for yourself, and that was the whole reason for going outside to begin with. But I mean, you assume that times are a little bit different, and they decide to go differently. But I still think that there's going to be there's an opportunity to look around and see who is going to pay for these rights, as opposed to having to work them yourself.
MLB free agency is underway. Shohei Ohtani among 7 MLB players to receive a qualifying offer from their respective teams. Shohei Ohtani, along with Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Sonny Gray, Matt Chapman of the Toronto Blue Jays, Josh Hader of the Padres, and center fielder first baseman Cody Bellinger of the Chicago Cubs, each received their qualifying offers currently valued at $20.325 million. These players have until 4 p.m. Eastern time on November 14th to decide whether to return to their prior teams on a one-year deal for the value of that qualifying offer. I would imagine that these 7 individuals will say, actually, nah, we're good here, and we'll test free agency, especially Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling he's going to make significantly more than $20 million in a year.
Yep, just a little bit. Just a little bit. All these guys. I mean, you got Blake Snell and Sonny Gray, both are Cy Young Award candidates this year. Josh Hader looks like the best reliever on the market right now as well. So Cody Bellinger is in line to make a bunch of money. Yeah, these guys will do very well in free agency. Any of those guys that you want here in Texas?
I think we've already talked about the Shohei Ohtani situation.
I should say other than Shohei Ohtani.
I mean, I understand why folks would look at the likes of like Josh Hader when it comes to the bullpen, and maybe one of the starters, as we just detailed earlier, just the idea of having a even more robust rotation while you're still waiting for the likes of the return from Jacob deGrom and maybe opportunity to push some of the dudes that are kind of starters in a funky way, maybe push them into the bullpen and have more support there. But Shohei is the one that locks in just because of the notoriety of it. And also, I think that that's good business, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, any of these players, all these players are good players that could help your team. Only one of those players changes the bottom line. And I think when it comes to Ray Davis, so you're putting money on the table. It'd be nice to have something that you know is going to bring a whole bunch of money back. And that's what Shohei Ohtani is. That's the level of investment that he is. We talking a different level, you know?
The Texas Rangers did not extend a qualifying offer to Mitch Garver, likely ending his time here with the Texas Rangers, but he will.
And that means Mitch Garver would be on that $20.3 something million one-year deal, and I think that was just a little bit of a bridge too far for these Rangers right now.
He'll forever be a hero around here, though.
Got to be.
That's for damn
Shout
sure.
out to the man.
Speaking of those Rangers, real quick before we go to break, it's award season also in Major League Baseball, and several of your Texas Rangers are up for the biggest prizes in Major League Baseball.
3, in fact.
That's right. The AL MVP, the most valuable player award finalists, Shohei Ohtani, Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien are your 3 award finalists for most valuable player in the American League. Bruce Bochy, one of 3 candidates for AL Manager of the Year. Now, I don't want y'all to get mad at me.
What are you doing right now? What are you about to say?
Here's what should happen. Bruce Bochy should win.
Okay, I thought that was the one you were going to get spicy on. I was like, don't do that.
He should win American League Manager of the Year.
Agree.
Unfortunately, I don't think he will.
Who are you throwing up there?
Brandon Hyde.
Okay.
Hot take.
That's interesting.
Baltimore had a hell of a season. And you give the Rangers a lot of credit for, bouncing them in 3 straight in the division series. I do think the writers will vote Brandon Hyde for American League Manager of the Year, because they're not going to give it to Kevin Cash again.
Nah, ain't no way.
We're over that. And so it's the idea of them winning in the playoffs apparently at this point. So yeah, I think Brandon Hyde will win. It should be Bruce Bochy though.
I don't remember when that vote gets cast. I can't remember.
Do y'all disagree with that? You feel is that a hot take?
I can absolutely see the logic there. It does track. I'm trying to remember when the vote gets cast, because depending on when the vote gets cast, I wonder if the pressure of Bruce Bochy doing it again, right? And you know what I mean when I say it, right?
This is a regular season award.
Sure, but those types of things can kind of allow you to frame the regular season a little differently.
Sure.
And I think that seeing the ways that this team bonded and congealed again would make a team, or maybe make a writer look back at the regular season and see, okay, this is kind of amazing what they did just to get back to this point.
Your NL Most Valuable Player finalists, real quick: Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Ronald Acuna Jr. should run away with that.
I agree. With all due respect to Mookie Betts. Freddie Freeman. Thanks for stopping by the booth.
Hey, do yourself a favor before you go to bed tonight. Look at the numbers that Freddie Freeman had this year. Insane.
Why would you say? Why wouldn't we would just do the Googles right?
Well, I'm just saying because we can go to break real quick.
Yeah, but we can. I mean, I can still do the Googles, and we'll bring you the Freddie Freeman numbers next segment. Why not?
Why not? Those are your headlines here on this Monday night here on the Get Right. Coming up next, little college football roundup in what was a wild weekend, Texas, in college football. We'll detail it next on the Get Right.
Keep the volume turned up all day and night. And thanks for being a Tolo. We're DFW Sports Station 105.3 The Fan.
Oh, I'm sleeping like a baby again. Getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night feels so great. And no, it's not some magic pill. It was letting go of over 80 pounds with soda weight loss. Because there's so many crazy great side effects from letting go of all of that unhealthy fat. Zach Wolchuk of the G-Bag Nation, and it's not just me or my fan teammates, but also over 8,100 of the incredible 5-star Google reviews at SOTAweightloss.com. And as we move into fall, I'm having to get some new clothes because I can't fit into those triple XL shirts anymore. And those old jeans I had are way too big. Just like this review from Aaron. How are you feeling thanks to Soda, sir?
Feels great. I fit into my clothes again, which is nice. My fat guy wardrobe was getting to be too small, so hopefully I'm going to get to mid-size guy wardrobe here pretty quick, and then eventually back down to the normal human size wardrobe.
Visit SOTAweightloss.com. That's SOTAweightloss.com. The Dallas Cowboys and Soda are, say it with me now, state of the art. Hugs and less pounds, everybody.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites
Dinner's ready.
and the leftovers with top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity, and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster on campus or live online. Qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career, accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
It's a Cowboys Monday, brought to you by Twin Peaks and K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing on 105.3 The Fan.
Every day, children need health care, from shots, well visits, and other medical needs. It's important to understand that I support PD Place because they step in to fill that need. When children need help, they can go to an emergency room or they can go to PD Place. Join me in making PD Place a larger part of the DFW area and help kids make PD Place your place.
Ciao amici, All You Can Italy Fall for Dallas is back on Friday, November 10. For one night at North Park Center, the Italy Marketplace will offer more than 50 Italian wine, over a dozen bars with cocktails and beers, 30 food stations of Italy favorites, and so much more. Get ready for All You Can Italy Fall for Dallas.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea with a 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. If having turkey for the holidays, buy from a local farm, get one labeled USDA organic or certified humane. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Nothing turns game day into a great day like stocking up at Specs and cheering on the Cowboys. As a proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Specs has everything you need to to turn your pregame party into a full-on football feast. With lower prices on a stadium-sized selection of world-class wines, spirits, beers, seltzers, and gourmet foods, Specs is your one-stop shop for all your game day essentials. Cowboy up at Specs. The fun starts here.
Back here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on your home of the Cowboys and World Series champion Texas Rangers 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
What up?
Chris Strong holding it down for you here. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. The TruckRed.com text line 877-881-1053. A little college football roundup from a busy weekend in the world of college football, including USC finally doing the right thing, Spike Lee, when it came to their defense. We'll get into that here in just a moment. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula if you want to get at us on Twitter. But we start, though, in Michigan. Is Michigan finally about to get in trouble for all their shenanigans they've been pulling over the last however long it's been now at this particular point?
Oh, that's a great question. Will Big Ten football punish Michigan football? I'm actually not certain at this point because I have not kept up with this over the weekend.
Well, it looks like the Big Ten's informed Michigan it might face disciplinary action.
Very good.
The Big Ten formally notified Michigan that it could be finally facing disciplinary action from the league. The letter sent to Michigan is part of the Big Ten's sportsmanship policy, which requires a notice of disciplinary action. Quote, in the event it becomes clear that an institution is likely to be subjected to disciplinary action. Of course, the NCAA is investigating Michigan for illegal off-campus scouting and sign stealing. But Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti has the authority to impose discipline under sportsmanship policy before the lengthy NCAA investigative and infractions process concludes there. So.
Yeah, man, this is basically you're not going to mess with the money situation.
Yeah.
Right? I think we kind of understand it that there's some level of like stealing signs that's just a part of the game. But Michigan with, the Connor Stallions report, just learning more about that, what's become, blatantly apparent is that they went above and beyond what seems to be fair game, or at the very very least, we're stupid enough to get caught. And the thing about that is that now all of us out here are talking about it. And when it comes to the Big Ten, that's not good for business. What business? TV negotiation business. And so with that being the case, no, we can't let y'all mess with this. We got to make it seem like we're taking care of this. And so y'all might have to deal with this. I'm very interested on what the actual sanctions or whatever are going to be, because if it rises to the level of we are not going to allow you to participate in the Big Ten championship, I'm very intrigued on how that goes for postseason play for Michigan, because they are good enough,
especially if they beat Ohio State.
Right, they are good enough to be considered still, but there are enough teams that are interesting that if it does not quite shake in the way that you want it to for them, like there are other teams that the college football playoff could take and completely leave them out. Now, would I do that? I can't imagine that I would, looking at what it is right now. But should that happen, I think that could make this kind of spicy as we get to picking that Final Four.
If they get left out of postseason play and banned from the Big Ten championship game, which subsequently would take them out of the college football playoff, I think they fire Jim Harbaugh.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is going to be long for that situation anyways. As we know,
he's not going to quit.
If there's an opportunity that comes available to him, right?
From where?
The NFL.
It's not coming. They're not touching him within a 10-foot pole right now. They're not going to touch him.
You say that. People get desperate.
I don't think the NFL is in the business of touching Jim Harbaugh right now for a head coaching job.
This is the thing about Jim Harbaugh. For the first, 3 seasons, it'll be good. He will get that thing together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the Jim Harbaugh thing. Ultimately, he is grading. He does not seem to get along with his boss as well. Shout out to Jed York.
That's right.
But if the results are there, some of these teams right now are hiring dudes and not getting results that they're sick of, right? So if you can guarantee some level of we can get something done, I think you got to remember, like, the results on this in the NFL is what they care about the most, to let themselves do some of the whack stuff that they end up doing anyways in the NFL. So yeah, man, like, might as well go get that dude, as he's been making googly eyes with the NFL for 3-4 seasons at this point.
It's been a while. On the field this weekend, though, some very interesting action taking place including what happened in the Pac-12 this weekend. Washington drops 52 on USC. Finally enough to get Alex Grinch out the paint as he's been fired as the defensive coordinator for Lincoln Riley's USC
It only
Trojans.
took them ruining 3 years of Caleb Williams' career.
Bruh, the USC Trojans defense has given up 265 points in their last 6 games.
Is that good?
It's horrendous.
Okay, very good. Yeah, no, this is a thing that you just kind of know. In college football circles, everybody kind of laughs about the idea that Alex Grinch is there because it's not a good defense. They waited too long to make this move. That there's not really a redemption arc for this USC team, and that's the thing that's the saddest about it. But hey, man, Lincoln Riley was just content with it, and so that's where you are. It really does stink for Caleb Williams.
Speaking of his former team, Oklahoma, season hopes of a Big 12 championship, college football playoff, those are officially gone now after losing in the final game of Bedlam.
You say that those are gone. I mean,
I think they're done.
In favor of whomst? You think Oklahoma State is the one to look for the Big 12 championship? Because as of right now, it's them in Texas. Yeah, those would be your teams, which gross.
And they own the tiebreaker over Oklahoma, so Oklahoma has to finish better than Oklahoma State to get to the Big 12 title game.
I do have to look at what that Oklahoma State schedule is going on. And they have settled into like a workable circumstance, but depending on who they face, this could get a little tight. But no, I think that's also a fair situation to look at. Is that Oklahoma might have fumbled the bag. And really, what I'm most mad about is not the idea that they have, kind of harmed their dream, the dream of getting to the Big 12 championship game and winning that on the way out. What really upsets me the most is you look at the season history, or not the season, the long time history
of Bedlam.
And the real fact of the matter is, we have the joke that anything can happen in Bedlam except Oklahoma State winning, and that is backed by facts, Bubba. Please understand, that is backed by real hard facts. Except forever and always until they actually find a way to schedule some level of out-of-conference matchup.
Which who knows when that will be.
Oklahoma State decided, or is going to be the final winner in this, and they ruined the joke for me, and I'm so upset. Thanks for nothing, Oklahoma. This is the one thing we needed you to do.
The only person more upset about that is Carter Freeman, and Chris Arnold. He wasn't too thrilled yesterday about that either. Dreams remain alive for Texas, though. Shout out to your K-State Wildcats for pushing the Texas Longhorns in Austin over the weekend.
Before we go for it, I just want to give you the Bedlam, the wins, losses. You have Oklahoma State winning 91 of them. You've got Oklahoma State. I don't know why I said Ohio. Oklahoma State winning 20, and then 7 ties.
91, 20, and 7 all time.
That is what Oklahoma is. Yes.
So what kind of Bedlam were we actually talking about here?
Oklahoma can win by a lot, or they can win by a little.
Okay,
that was the point.
Got it.
Except
got it.
The final time where Oklahoma State actually won, because Oklahoma just would not get their act together, kept giving the ball away. Thanks for nothing. Anyways, you're moving on to Texas and Kansas State. Hey man, Kansas State in that first half was looking like what it feels like. They're just not as solid of a team as they have been in the past. And then Texas, they were just mauling them boys on the line.
Yeah.
And ultimately, in its essence, this game is about blocking and tackling. And what you saw was the 300-pound dudes, 300-plus pound dudes on the defensive line showing up. You saw the offensive line doing what they needed to do. Except Kansas State, if there's one thing they're gonna do, is that they're going to make it tough.
Your man Will Howard kept him in the second half.
Will Howard got a little game to him.
Yeah.
I honestly am kind of not entirely amazed, because this is the thing about the University of Texas is that they like playing around a little bit. And honestly, what this came down to is, look, man, they need that Quinn Ewers. If they do not get Quinn Ewers playing, the ceiling on this team is capped. Malik Murphy can do enough, but he is not consistent enough. You saw the second half where he simply just was not the same as the first half, and it looked a lot like when Malik Murphy first came into the game a week or two ago, if my memory is starting to fade there.
Yeah, this is the second start, yeah.
And so yeah, man, this is the problem. You need Quinn Ewers, because I imagine also if Arch Manning could do better, he would be playing right now, right? I imagine the way that the season is going, like that trying to hit that peak is more important than that red shirt. I think if Arch Manning could give you better, he would be giving you better. They need Quinn Ewers back like yesterday, if they actually want to do this and like really try and see this thing out to its ultimate conclusion, which is trying to make the college football playoff and possibly win a national championship.
Speaking of the college football playoff and the national championship, Alabama remains in the driver's seat now in the SEC West.
Yeah, we getting okie doke, dog.
I tried to tell you.
You did try to tell me.
I tried to tell you.
And the problem is, right? This is not your dad's Oklahoma. This is not your older brother's Oklahoma. And still, Nick Saban's like, we're gonna get this done. They have figured out their way to get things done. Again, they do not look like the world beaters that they can look like or they have looked like last 5-10 years. But
that offense is special right now.
They're doing enough. And what they decided, they figured out, look, man, when it comes down to Jalen Milroe, he will throw the football. He has a level of running to him. We will utilize that in a certain way. And they got things done. They got done what they needed to get done. And ultimately, I was about to call it the Big 12. The SEC is kind of what it typically is. They tried to make it look a little spicy, but it will still come down to the two that you know it to come down to, which is Georgia and Alabama. Ain't that funny?
Yeah.
From the 785, haters, OSU won 2 of the last 3 and did it without cheating in half a team of
okay.
Woman beaters, you say. Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
Sure, they have won 2 of the last 3. That is fair. Did I not just give you the long time record? Like, I understand what you're saying. When it comes down to this, Oklahoma State typically loses.
What have you done
game
for me lately?
And look, they've won 2 of the last 3. That is good. I'm not really speaking to like the cheating, whatever, man. Also, like you realize when people start getting onto the like, hey man, they was cheating. I was like, you don't feel a little bit. Anyways,
speaking of cheating, that's what the referees was doing in Athens this past weekend in Georgia.
Is that what you're saying happened to your Missouri Tigers? Y'all ain't get outclassed?
Look, ultimately we did, but for the second year in a row, we gave Georgia everything they could handle.
It was a good fight. It was a good fight of a game.
But Georgia ultimately prevails over Missouri 30-21. Their championship hopes remain alive, and they're on a collision course with Alabama for the SEC title once again, as Georgia's looking to make it 3 national championships in a row. But Georgia, after playing them again and playing them tough, they're a good football team, but I'm not blown away by Georgia.
I don't know that there is
now.
a blown away team in the nation right now. Like, is there a team that you get blown away by at all across the nation? I mean,
not really.
And I think that's kind of where we are now. Georgia, they're starting to play some of the tougher parts of their schedule. Michigan has an opportunity to give you a little bit of that as they play some of the tougher parts of the schedule. But really, outside of that, this is as open of a landscape as it possibly could be of a year, while also still having some really talented teams at the top. Real quick, I have to give a mea culpa to Dabo Swinney and Clemson. And just generally to everybody else for believing in Notre Dame in any way, shape, or form.
What'd I tell you?
Yeah, Sam Hartman, not the answer. In
Notre Dame, bunch of frauds. Y'all want them back so bad every year. And even Dabo was like, actually, no, we're good on that.
From the 940. Wasn't KG calling for Drinkwitz to get fired last year?
Sure was. Everybody was. Don't even worry about that. Everybody was. Don't even like him as our head coach still, but you know what?
And he will continue to be there. Shout out to you.
That's right. Thank you, 806. Got to agree with KG. The rest were pretty awful in that game. Had chances for sure to beat Georgia. We sure did.
And yet, and still. Also, like Alabama beating LSU, it should be mentioned. Jaden Daniels was hooping up until he got that injury.
Yes.
And that was not fun at all. Like, I was surprised that they brought him back out because it seemed fairly clear that was not going to work out well. They brought him back out, and I was like, okay, maybe I did not see that right for a single play. Like, he was about to get out there and run it. And then he went back into that blue tent, and we did not see him again for the end of the game. That really does stink for him and LSU. That they look really good when he's out there, but without him, we're not going to match up.
Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington are your top 5 in the AP poll.
I do feel bad for Florida State because I'm just not talking about them that much, but they are good at football.
They're just rolling.
They are good at football.
Yeah, they're rolling right now to the SEC to ACC title. Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Penn State, Ole Miss make up your top 10. Ole Miss, the top 10 team in the country.
They handled A&M in a game that I definitely didn't watch, so I don't want to speak on. I will say that.
Big one coming up this week in the Big Ten, though, when it comes to Penn State, when you look at their schedule, as they are taking on Michigan.
Yeah, I like how Penn State decided to have none of the smoke for Ohio State, but all of it for Maryland. Shout out to you, Penn State, for being the most Penn State-y football team that I could possibly imagine. Also from the 214, we need a top 8 instead of a top 4 soon. Don't worry about it. This is the last year under the 4 format. They are expanding to 12. So whatever y'all's hearts desired from that, you'll get it next year. But I will always tell you, this has always been my stance. You're not gonna find what you're looking for just by adding more teams. There's just going to be more teams and more games. And that's fine.
And more controversy.
But let me tell you, it's not going to fix the things that you're hoping to fix.
It's a little college football roundup. Wow, I don't know what that is. Roundup.
We're getting ready to round up this show. That's what it means. That means we are about cooked on this evening.
It's the final call mercifully next.
Coming up Tuesday morning on Sean and RJ, should the Rangers go after Shohei and Jerry Jones on the Eagles lost live at 8:30? It's a Tolo Tuesday morning on The Fan.
Hey everyone, Jane Slater from the NFL Network, and I'm here with Jeremy from Kissable Dental. You know the saying, use it or lose it. It's November, and that means your benefits are about to expire.
That's right, Jane. Your insurance company has been taking your money all year. Get something back. Teeth cleanings, whitenings, we do it all.
And the best part, Jeremy, they walk in and out without an extensive bill as they walk out the door, happy with what you didn't pay.
That's because we do all the work before you sit down. Let us handle the insurance company and the headaches, while we also help you avoid the toothaches.
And with 3 locations in the Metroplex, there is sure to be one close to you. With the holidays coming, things get busy, so you're going to want to get your appointment soon. I know I already got mine.
Book online at kissabledental.com. That's kissabledental.com. Or you can call 972-779-KISS, 972-779-KISS. The Kissable journey starts today.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm
see somebody who I know I kept out of the operating room. It's amazing how we change people's lives without surgery.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 972-972-8610. That's 972-972-8610. 972-972-8610.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, Tolos, Bobby Belt here. I've struggled with sciatic pain for so long that I accepted it would live with me forever. That was until I discovered the doctors at Chronic Pain Relief. And you heard me right there. Actual MDs who are board certified in pain management at Chronic Pain Relief. I'm already feeling better than I have in years. Chronic Pain Relief needs to be your first visit if you've been experiencing neck and low back pain. They accept all PPO insurance plans at their 3 DFW locations. Don't be held back by chronic pain any longer. Go to CPRELIEF.com and schedule your appointment today. That's CPRELIEF.com to start your path to relief from chronic pain.
When you Tolo, you are family.
I lost my mother 3 weeks ago, and she's the biggest Texas Rangers fan, and all I want is these guys to win this thing for her. My mother's name is Thelma Wilson.
Thank you for sharing. We're sorry for your loss, and we'll get a Thelma chant going whenever they bring it home.
Huge congratulations to Thelma and all of our amazing Rangers listeners from your family at The Fan.
This segment on 105 Through the Fan is sponsored by Classic Chevrolet. Classic Chevrolet is racing to finish the year #1 in America. They're leading the way with an unheard of 400 Silverados with their best Black Friday savings all month long. Shop them all at ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Find your roads.
Well, the Jets just down bad. We're watching the highlights of the Jets and the Chargers from Monday Night Football. Zach Wilson. Yikes. That Chargers defense, which has been much maligned all season, came through in a big way tonight in the 27-6 win over the Jets on Monday Night Football.
8 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries. My goodness.
Nasty work. Nasty work. It's final call here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105 Through the Fan, your home of the Cowboys and World Series champion Texas Rangers. We'll be back with you tomorrow night from 7 to 11 p.m. as we are every Monday through Friday now. The Rangers have completed their World Series championship victory. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg, at Atula, before we get out of here on this Monday night. Shout out to the Mavericks.
For sure.
They get the win tonight, overcoming a 15-point deficit to defeat the Orlando Magic on the road. 6-1 now on the young season.
It is funny that you decided to play Lauryn Hill there. Did you do this on purpose, Chris?
No at all.
Okay, so you didn't hear that she was out here talking about how y'all should be grateful for her even showing up on stage, even though she's always showing up late to her own concerts that she sets the time for?
I heard she was in town. Yeah, Fort Worth. Did she say that in Fort Worth?
I don't know where she said that. I believe that was, I don't remember where it was, but I just find it hilarious. At this point, if you show up to a Lauryn Hill concert and she's late,
that's on you.
You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah,
there's a long record of it. I just find it incredible that she was like, y'all should have known. Y'all lucky I even show up, which is crazy.
That's a wild thing.
That is wild. I guess another thing I should get off my chest right now.
Oh,
just remember that tomorrow, November 7th, is Election Day. So if you want to do your civic duty, show up to your polling location. Probably do a little research because I'm pretty sure it's mostly Texas state Constitution amendments, propositions. I think those are mostly. Obviously, I can't speak for everybody in every locale. Maybe you have some election or some race happening. But yeah, go ahead and take a look at what's happening. If you have an opportunity, go vote, do your civic duty, be a part of society, so on and so forth.
Congratulations are in order for Andrea Carter.
Oh, she get a new job? She get more responsibilities?
She will become the first woman with a permanent role on ESPN's basketball's College Game Day show, according to front office.
Very nice, very nice. I always forget about the basketball College Game Day. But I guess maybe that's just because I have not been paying a lot of attention to it lately. because it felt like it was always good for reminding me of the start of my basketball season, which is once Duke, North Carolina hits. Which actually that should be coming back around to some level of interest, right? Like those teams are supposed to be some level of good.
No, for sure.
Like now it's college basketball season. I have to actually tap in.
That's right.
Which, as you can tell, I have not fully done yet. So we're gonna learn about college basketball together, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you can definitely learn from Andrea Carter because she's fantastic.
Very good at hoops.
Yeah,
very good.
Very well deserving for her and her new job there with the ESPN College Game Day. Speaking of college basketball, the highest paid coaches in women's college basketball.
I'm guessing Dawn and Gino are up there.
Not as much as Kim Mulkey.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Kim Mulkey be bringing them in.
Kim Mulkey makes $3.2 million per year. Gino Auriemma, 2.9. Dawn Staley, 2.7. Vic Schaefer, the head coach at Texas, makes 1.8. Jeff Walls of Louisville, 1.52 million.
I guess I never think. I honestly forget about Louisville, so that's my fault.
I don't know why Dawn Staley is the highest paid coach in women's college basketball. She should be.
I was thinking about it recently. She's been there 16 years.
Long time.
Which I honestly, it's easy for me to forget.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, college basketball's back. Just another thing for us to think about.
Yeah, I started getting scores, pushed to getting push notifications. The University of Houston beat ULM down so bad. I forget, this is the time of year where everybody's in their tournaments or playing teams that they absolutely should not be on the same court with. And they beat them by like 50 points. I was like, good God.
Oh, jeez.
Have some, like, can you have some mercy? Also, shout out to the University of Texas Arlington, my alma mater, for getting win number 1 as they picked up a win. Who'd they play again? Oh, my goodness. They played, nope, that's not the one because that is the University of Texas. Where is that game? I forgot it. I lost it, but they did win tonight. That's one thing I do know.
That's all that matters. They won. Just like the Rangers who won the World Series.
You do love to hear it.
That's going to be our default go-to thing at any time. The Rangers won the World Series. They won the World Series. Appreciate the hard work of my man Chris Strong on this Monday night. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it as you celebrate the Texas Rangers winning the World Series. For my partner.
They beat Oral Roberts. That's what it was, 75-71.
Okay. My partner, Reginald Attitula. My name is Kevin Gray. This has been the Get Right with Reggie KG on 105 through the Fan. We're back with you tomorrow from 7 to 11 p.m. Get your day started with Sean, RJ, and Bobby. Jerry Jones at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on 105 through the Fan. Y'all be good. We'll talk to you later.
Be easy.
The Fan continues to grow because of you, our listener teammates. Thank you for turning it on and leaving it on. 105.3 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150-milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year.